football. Download it now from TalkSport.com.
Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder.
TalkSport.
Welcome back. We are building up to Burnley against Arsenal here on Premier League Live, but we have got a little bit of time to look back on what was an extraordinary day across the Premier League yesterday. Results changing hands left, right and centre, shockers down the bottom, surprises near the top, and you can hear exactly how it went down on Premier League Live now.
Free kick for Chelsea. Up goes!
Oh my goodness.
Rudiger again! It's another header and it's another goal for the centre half, and it's 2-2. Set piece undoes Leicester again.
Free kick, very dangerous. It's Wilson straight into the wall, shouts a handball, comes back to Fraser, who drives it. It's spilt and it's been turned in by Nathan Ake, and Bournemouth lead by 2-0.
Quick 1-2 from Graham Potter's side, and Abreu gets the ball. It's a decent cross. Will it find Murray? It does find Murray, and it rolls in for 3-3.
We're not in a great position, but I know that I was that when I came in. We have to win games, and we hope that we're one of the teams that go on a run in the coming games. We've also got winnable games at different parts, but we've also got some tough games as well.
Holgate heads it clear. Keane, Moyes Keane flicks it on, and Everton are on the charge here. Richarlison looks like he's going to go on his own, is he? Tries to beat it into Moyes Keane. Missed hit. Walcott might get there. Theo Walcott looks to have stolen it for Everton.
Stevens is back, looking back to Salah. Can he get another one? Oh, he can! Mo Salah pokes it in off one foot onto the other. It wasn't pretty, but boy was it effective. 2 on the night for Salah. Has 7 in 6 against Southampton, 18 for the season. Salah is bang on form.
The attitude and the mentality of these boys made it again possible that we could win this game.
So quite an unbelievable day across the Premier League. We're going to focus a little bit on what's happened down at the bottom of the table. In particular, that unbelievable game between West Ham and Brighton. West Ham throwing away a 2-goal lead and then a 3-1 lead as well to give up 2 points to Brighton at home. Let's hear from the boss, David Moyes, who admitted a draw felt like a loss.
Yeah, it does, because to be twice in the lead by 2 goals, you always think, well, it's a good cushion. But I have to say, I think the second half showed the fatigue and the effort the boys put in against Liverpool as well was noticeable. Also bringing a couple of players in, which we felt we needed to do. We needed to sort of freshen the team up. We've done it, but I thought both Mickey Antonio to get 70 minutes and Thomas Souček to get best part of 75 minutes. I thought it was a great effort by them both.
Great effort by some of West Ham's players, but David Connolly, you've just been discussing West Ham's woes with one of our West Ham supporting producers, and you're not very impressed with some of the goals that they conceded yesterday.
No, I mean, let's be honest, they were atrocious. The first one where Fabianski's tried to come out and punch the ball. I mean, I know Glenn Murray's on him, but he's just got to be stronger, take 2 hands to it, or at least punch it up in the air, and punches it straight against his own player to go back into the net. And then some of the others are absolutely comical playing out. Masuaku came on as a sub and blasted the ball straight to a Brighton player, and then the 2 defenders at the back conspired to hand Brighton an opportunity with a really poor header. I'm not sure if it was Diop or Bono, whichever one. And then obviously for the equaliser, I mean, where'd you go? I mean, such shocking goals. My big problem is, though, they played Liverpool in the week, right, which, let's be honest, they were never going to get a point against Liverpool. They were never. And I looked at that starting team thinking, why have you gone with such a strong team? And then after the game, he's saying their effort was huge. Maybe fatigue and playing Liverpool went tonight took it. Well, of course it would take its toll. So you rest some of those boys, you take a beating if you're going to get one, but the problem is he didn't want to, because he probably didn't want to risk the wrath of the West Ham fans by resting some of those players. Instead, he's basically played more or less the same team, and it's cost them in the end.
Is he in a position to look at games, even ones against the champions elect, and say, well, free hit, we'll take a loss there? Yes. Is he in a position to do that? They are running out of games.
Yeah, they are, but you're not going to... Look, How many games have Liverpool undefeated in? What, 40 odd?
Yeah.
You know, so they're not going to get anything out of that game. We're playing the team. They're playing the team here today, Burnley, Arsenal. Who Burnley, you know, they select their team based on who they're playing. So, you know, he rested up. I think it was against Tottenham. He rested quite a few players. I know Barnes wasn't too sure if he was really struggling or not, but he left him out. They left some players out over Christmas, you know, because he picks and chooses. He knows he's not going to beat Man City. He knows he's not going to beat Liverpool. But on his day, they might have a chance against the likes of United. But, you know,
they beat Leicester.
They beat Leicester, yes. But, you know, Leicester, as we've seen, I saw them at the King Power. You know, they got blown away by Liverpool. Liverpool are on a different planet to everybody else. So are Man City. They're not far behind. So, to me, unfortunately, you kind of write those games off, to be honest, and you go for those ones that you can win. So that team selection, I think, cost them in the end at West Ham.
Well, you're going to be able to hear Man City, by the way, later on. They're at Tottenham. Alex Crook and Steve Lomas will bring you full commentary of that one. How do you look at the relegation situation at the moment, David? Watford yesterday looked absolutely certain to win their game against Everton. They were 2-0 up. Then they gave away 2 shocking goals from set pieces. Everton had a man sent off. You thought, right, this is Watford's opportunity. But now, consecutive games where Watford have thrown away the lead to lose now to Aston Villa and to Everton. They're back in the bottom 3. I know it's only 2 points to Villa, but Bournemouth have picked up, Villa have picked up, Brighton are still getting results as we saw yesterday. So how are you looking at the bottom? I was going to say the bottom sort of 6, but I think probably most people would suggest Norwich are gone. So what about the rest?
I mean, it's very exciting because even Everton obviously had a 2-goal lead against Newcastle and then threw that away.
Yeah.
So they showed great character to come back. You know, what can you say for Watford? I guess prior to the goals coming in, basically right at the end of the first half, you know, they looked in cruise control, but I guess, you know, in those really important moments, it just seemed to let them down. Did they manage the closing minutes of the first half? Probably not. The second half, probably not. That's game management, and it's cost them. But it looks very, very tight down there. You'd hate to be able to call it.
Well, I'm asking you to.
Well, it's so difficult because Villa look like, you know, they could be the ones that obviously get sucked down into there. If West Ham can get some goals to their game, if Jared Bowen can get off on a flyer and start picking up some goals, my only concern is when David Moyes signed a player from the Championship previously in Jordan Hugill, that didn't work out.
No.
Jared Bowen is a little bit different, but anyway, they're conceding too many goals, West Ham. Watford, you like to think, you know, they've shown character, although they lost, at least they're in a positive position for a while and they fought their way out of it. My team would be Brighton, but again, they show character. It makes it a really exciting season, certainly down at the bottom, because at the top it's all sewn up, certainly who's going to win the league, and the bottom is the most exciting. You look at Arsenal today, they're just as close to the bottom as they are to the 5th.
Well, they're considerably. I mean, it's 11 points for Arsenal to 4th, which is of course their target at the start of each season, just 6 down to the relegation zone. So I mean, I guess if you're saying, maybe you're not saying, but if Burnley are in it, then so are Arsenal and Crystal Palace, who are in between them, but all on 30 points.
To go down?
As part of the relegation battle.
Yeah,
I'm not saying are they going down.
No, yes, but I guess they're just as likely to possibly catch Sheffield United, who are in that 5th position for the possible Champions League. That's how tight it is. But look, make no mistake, they're not being spoken about in that regard yet. But obviously, if they lose here today, Arsenal, then you're probably saying, well, yeah, they're worried about what's below them as well as what's above them.
I mean, that would be one of the most extraordinary stories in Premier League.
It's not going to happen, though, is it?
But it would, wouldn't it? I mean, Arsenal are not just ever present in the Premier League; they are ever present in the top flight of English football forever. Yeah. I mean, look, let's have a tiny bit of fun at Arsenal fans' expense. Suppose they went down. I mean, where does that rank in stories in English football history? Is that up with Leicester winning the league? Is that surprising?
Yeah, well, yes, but it's not. Let's be honest, it's not going to happen.
You're not supposed to say that. Try to have some fun.
There are 6, 7, 8, 9 teams worse than them, and I think once Arteta starts converting some of these hard-fought draws into victories, seeing out games, managing games with that front four, you know, look, he knows he's not going to lose any of them now. You know, no one came in for Aubameyang, Lacazette's there, they've got goals, Martinelli, you know, Willock looks like a handful. You know, they'll be fine. Ozil, if he can get going, they'll be absolutely fine. I
want to know if there's anybody out there across the world listening to Premier League Live now who believes that Arsenal are potentials to be relegated at TalkSport Live on Twitter.
I bet they are all Tottenham fans.
I wouldn't be surprised if you're right. Listen, we are building up to Burnley against Arsenal in the Premier League. We can hear from from the two managers now. Mikel Arteta coming up in just a moment's time. But Sean Dyche must be very pleased with the way things are going for the Clarets at the moment.
You know, no matter what players you've got, no matter what managers you've got, no matter what perception is of a club, it is difficult, and that probably shows how difficult the Premier League is when a club like Arsenal, with the players they've got, etc., are finding themselves where they are now against where people probably think or thought they should be at the beginning of the season. But that's not our concern. Our concern is about us. We look at what we're trying to achieve, the players that we're working with, and all that comes with it. So we really focus on ourselves.
One of the most English grounds, what they do it really, really well. They are specialists to do that, and the type of game that they want to play makes it really difficult for the opponent. So we need to be ready for a battle, be clever, try to take the game where we want, and go there with complete focus and energy and very clear plan, because if not, they are really hard to deal with.
Mikel Arteta, David, just spoke about Burnley's very clear plan. Has that in any way developed in the time that Sean Dyche has been there? Am I being unfair to say he's got one way, it continues to work, and therefore he should be praised by that, but perhaps they haven't changed? Or is that unfair?
Well, I guess, this season you look at Sheffield United, they've got their way of doing things. They're not going to change for anyone. Sean Dyche has shown over the years that is the most successful way. He buys British, didn't he? Players that he knows, he likes. He's gone to the Championship quite often. Obviously Josh Brown, who was joined from Bristol City. So they're the sort of players that he buys in. Maybe they're not the finished articles. They've got to manage who they bring in. 15 million's been their record signing, hasn't it, for I think Chris Wood and Ben Gibson. And invariably they're either getting those that haven't worked out at other clubs or those in the Championship, and trying to mould them, improve them, and just develop that core. I think that he has that core of British players that know exactly what he wants, how he's going to play. Yes, it is a 4-4-2. Sometimes it changes with maybe one less striker, one more in midfield, depends who they're playing against, but it doesn't deviate too far, does he? And you've got to say a lot of his signings have really worked out. So I've got a lot of respect for Sean Dyche. I know fellow managers do. People say, well, it's not the prettiest or whatever, but I think he just plays with the sort of hand that he's been dealt. He hasn't spent.
So you think he could do something else if he was given different players, different circumstances, maybe different club? And I'm not suggesting for a second he'll go
possibly
anywhere.
But you have to look at how hard it is to evolve and change. Look at Graham Potter trying to do it at Brighton. Very difficult, isn't it? So I think he sticks to what he knows, what he believes in, what works, and they'll make a mistake today, make it as hard as possible. That's why I think Torreira might not be in today, because Guendouzi and Xhaka. Guendouzi giving them a little bit of height, a bit more presence, maybe aerially, whereas Torreira is, what is he, 5'6", 5'7", maybe on a good day, like yourself.
Not even that, don't they?
And obviously Guendouzi's got a bit more.
Am I not taller than you? Are you sure about that? I'm going to ask you about Nicolas Pepe in just a moment. I know you want to talk about him. We've just got a couple of minutes before we head off to a break before kick-off, but Mesut Ozil, 250th appearance for Arsenal. Rate him out of 10 for me, his Arsenal career.
I don't know, 5?
Oh, really?
5 to 6, possibly.
That's it?
Yeah, I think that would be it. I mean, you look at
114 goal involvements in 249 games so far.
Yeah, it might be a 6. It might be a 6 or a 7 then. He might be inching up. I don't think necessarily he's affected games as much as he should with his ability, with the player that he is. I don't believe so. I think he should be affecting games much more. Whether it's goals, look, he's playing as that number 10. Look at his goals. What's his goals been the last 2 seasons?
None yet, 6 and 6 last season and 5 the year before. Yeah.
So
but 12 assists the year before. Last season, I would admit, probably tailed off, but there was huge criticism of him, wasn't there, by the fans?
Look, in his first few seasons, in his first few seasons, you'd say yes, but in his last 3, you'd say he's nowhere near failed to deliver, and certainly in terms of put money aside, but the player that he is, what he cost, what he's meant to bring to the team as playing as that number 10, it just hasn't delivered, certainly not in the last 3 seasons.
Wow. And Nicolas Pepe, is he going Ozil's way or is he going Aubameyang's way?
Nicolas Pepe might be a bit of an enigma, I feel, for Arsenal fans, because I'm not surprised he's not in the team today, because he didn't play well at Bournemouth. He looks like a player, could be a bit like Ozil, I don't know, a luxury type player. I don't know, is he going to work as hard as Arteta wants? I'm not so sure. Whereas you look at the likes of Martinelli getting up and down on one side.
Well, that's a test of his embryonic career, Arteta,
yes,
isn't it, as a manager? Can he get that out of a player who, I don't think there's any doubt he's talented, is there?
Oh yeah, he's talented, but I don't know whether he's talented. I don't know. Look, the Premier League is a real step, and he might get there in time. He might improve in time, but at this moment in time, I think he's struggling to sort of live up to expectations so far.
Fascinating. We may see him later on. Of course, we'll definitely see Ozil in his 250th appearance for Arsenal in what is not an easy place to come. Burnley and Arsenal locked on 30 points apiece. Can they be separated today? We'll find out in just a few moments' time here on Premier League Live.
TalkSport. Download the TalkSport app now for online fun, fixture talk and lashings of live football. Football. Then stick it in your ear. Ouch. TalkSport. This is what real sport sounds like.
Hello, I'm Tom Rennie from TalkSport, and you've made the decision to listen to Premier League Live. I commend you on this decision. You're clearly a person who knows what's up and what's happening, as well as other phrases from 80s movies said by generic cool people in said movies. For example, Emilio Estevez. With that being said, why not try downloading TalkSport's football-related Game Day podcasts? Ahead of a Premier League weekend, usually on Thursday, Sam Matterface hosts the Game Day Premier League Preview Show podcast. On Saturday, we cut up the very best of our manager reaction and player interviews, bung in a few funny callers, and hey presto, you get the Your Verdict podcast. And on Monday morning, Danny Kelly is joined by the likes of Mark Webster, Mark Smith, Steve Lomas, David Connolly, and a host of other affordable names to look back at the footballing weekend, picking out the winners and losers in the Record Book podcast. Just search for Game Day podcast and they will appear. I'm in some of these shows too.
TalkSport. Don't be like Alan Brazil. Never miss a day's output with the new updated TalkSport app. Is that right, Alan?
I'm absolutely knackered.
Download the app at TalkSport.com. This is what real sport sounds like.
This Saturday is Game Day on TalkSport 2.
Your go-to destination for a full-service Premier League experience.
One day, so much football.
He shoots, he scores.
This Saturday is Game Day on TalkSport 2.
It is game on.
TalkSport. Download the TalkSport app now for online fun, fixture talk and lashings of live football. Football. Then stick it in your ear. Ouch. TalkSport. This is what real sport sounds like.
Saturday is Game Day on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
It's big ticket live Premier League football you can't afford to miss.
Hi, I'm Matt Target from Aston Villa.
Hi, I'm Bournemouth centre-back Chris Mepham.
Hi, I'm Jan Vertongen. Listen to Game Day on TalkSport.
Game Day.
It's a brilliant goal.
This Saturday
on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Official broadcast partner of the Premier League. TalkSport. Get with the net, Grandad. Make space on your mobile for the TalkSport phone app, the channel-hopping, station-swapping gizmo that's taking the UK by storm. It's ear trumpet compatible. Download the TalkSport app now at TalkSport.com.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Burnley against Arsenal from Turf Moor. I'm your host, Toby Gillis. Alongside me, the former Watford, West Ham and Republic of Ireland striker, David Connolly. This is Premier League Live.
Number 5, James Tarkowski. Number 6, Captain Ben Mee. Number 9, Chris Wood.
Welcome along then. Let's take a quick look at the two teams. 5 changes each from FA Cup defeat for Burnley and victory for Arsenal. Joe Hart, Kevin Long, Eric Peters, Robbie Brady and Aaron Lennon all onto the subs bench for the Clarets. In their places Nick Pope, Ben Mee, Charlie Taylor, Jeff Hendrick and Dwight McNeil. They have Nick Pope in goal. The back four, Matt Lowton, James Tarkowski, Ben Mee and Charlie Taylor. Then it's Jeff Hendrick, Jack Cork, Ashley Westwood and Dwight McNeil across the middle. Chris Wood and Jay Rodriguez continue to lead the line up front. For Arsenal, Emiliano Martinez, Socrates, Nicolas Pepe, Joe Willock and Eddie Nketiah are all dropped to the substitutes bench today. In their places, Ben Leno, David Luiz back from suspension, Mesut Ozil, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang also back from suspension, and Alexandre Lacazette will continue to lead the line. Leno is in goal, the back four: Hector Bellerin, Shkodran Mustafi, David Luiz, Bukayo Saka, Matteo Guendouzi and Granit Xhaka in midfield, Gabriel Martinelli right, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang left, Mesut Ozil in behind, and Alexandre Lacazette will lead the line. Arsenal are in their changed strip this afternoon. Mesut Ozil on his 250th appearance. Sean Dyche is readying himself to start his own personal stopwatch. I always find that amusing that managers do that, like it's somehow going to be different to the referees. But Arsenal in their yellow jerseys, blue shorts and yellow socks will get us underway, and it's Burnley in their famous claret and blue. David Luiz gets the ball early, immediately launches long towards Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. It's headed away by Lowton. Lacazette picks up, Aubameyang has it, and Arsenal work it back to the halfway line where it's picked up by Luiz. He can't work the ball through the gap, and Burnley immediately, David Connolly, setting up with 11 men behind the ball and inside their own half.
Yeah, and I'm sure that obviously Sean Dyche would have looked at the Gunners' performance away at Bournemouth in the FA Cup, and it was a really, really good one. Very good on the ball, dominating possession. I think they know this is going to be a difficult game for them, but they've been aggressive, going man for man.
Yeah.
When they are building out from the back, there's Jack Cork going in on Guendouzi, and very aggressive high press from Burnley here.
Well, we know that Arsenal have had problems playing out from the back on a number of occasions. I just wonder how important it is for the...
What a pass that is from Mustafi.
That's a lovely pass from Mustafi. Up it goes to Ozil. Can he find the gap into Aubameyang down the left-hand side? He can. Aubameyang attacking both Hendrick and Lowton, and gets the cross in to Alex Lacazette, and that's a really good opportunity for the Frenchman. Without a goal in his last 8 games in all competitions, he perhaps should have had one in the first 2 minutes here, but he's put it well wide of Nick Pope's right-hand post.
Oh, it's fantastic football, to be honest. Arsenal from one end to the other, eventually Mustafi into Ozil out wide to Aubameyang. Terrific little ball, just dinked up in and around the penalty spot. Lacazette had pulled off his man, but really poor directional header. Couldn't quite twist his head enough. Directed on target. He'll be disappointed with that finish.
Certainly will. Long ball away by Nick Pope. Underneath that, the ponytail figure of Jay Rodriguez. It's going to drop over on the far side to Dwight McNeil, young winger. He'll try and take on his man. He's managed to get the ball across to Taylor, and Taylor's up and into Hendrick. Did that hit Saka's arm? Might have done. Not sure how much he knew about it. And Arsenal managed to get it away. Breathless start here. Martinelli down the right hand side now, deep inside Burnley territory already. Running at me. Martinelli down the right side of the 18-yard box, checks and turns away from the defender who's stuck with him, uses Ozil. Now here's the man who earned them a late point against Chelsea, Hector Bellerin. They've worked it across via Xhaka to Saka. Saka, another good cross that, gone an awful long way, and headed behind carefully by Charlie Taylor for the first corner of the game, and it's gone the way of Mikel Arteta's Arsenal.
Well, it's a really good game so far, end to end. Good run, good break from Burnley. McNeil got the ball, got to the ball. I think he played in Charlie Taylor. Good cross into the box, but Arsenal defended it well, and then immediately went on the attack. Another really good cross into the box there from Arsenal, but no one gambling across the 6-yard box.
Corner then to be taken by Mesut Ozil. 5 out of 10 for his 249 appearances so far, according to David Connolly. Short to Lacazette, comes back to Xhaka. Arsenal have been forced back to near enough halfway after taking that short corner. Saka gives it to Guendouzi. David Luiz down the left for him. Instead he decides to go into the area, and the header, did that come off a Burnley man last? Martinelli went for it. I think it's off the Brazilian. And no, I think it is going to be a corner, is it?
It might be a throw-in, we'll have to wait and see. But
yeah,
Arsenal,
throw-in, yeah, Saka to take.
They didn't want to chuck the ball into the box because obviously they're quite big at the back, Burnley, so invariably these corners might be taken short just to get a different angle on it.
Saka managing to spin Hendrick, and then easily away from Lowton as well. The free kick given, and Lowton has stayed down. That's one of those where you know you've given something away, and I think if you think you've got an injury, the ref might not book you.
I just wonder, there was a little clash of knees here. They've both gone to ground. Super skill from Saka, just to spin away from Jeff Hendrick. Then he faced up by Lowton, takes it inside, then on the outside. I think there might have been just a clash of knees there as Saka skipped away.
Possibly. I think both will be alright when push comes to shove. Saka is limping quite heavily, to be fair to him. Just 18 years of age. There's Ozil readying himself to take this slightly better position than as if it was a corner. It's probably 5-6 yards infield in both directions. Ozil surveys the scene. One-man wall in Jeff Hendrick. Here comes the bending, out-swinging ball, away by Rodriguez. Guendouzi heads back up towards the edge of the area. Little nudge by Mustafi in the back of Rodriguez, and it's through to the goalkeeper and Shkodran Mustafi. Well, he's been given a bit of a reprieve, hasn't he, last few games by Mikel Arteta. I think most Arsenal fans thought, there's no chance that he's going to be playing for us again. But this is his third consecutive Premier League start, so first choice for the time being, although of course they have managed to sign Mari in the January transfer window on loan. He's not in the squad today, it's worth pointing out, as Burnley have it at the back. 5 minutes gone, it remains Burnley 0, Arsenal 0. Wood with the little knockdown to Jay Rodriguez. Offside flag goes up. Rodriguez shot from about 40 yards anyway, never went anywhere near the goal, and it's a free kick to Arsenal.
Well, just going back to Mustafi's little push there, I mean, there was no need to do that. Needs a little bit of subtlety in his game as well at times, Mustafi, but he's recovered quite well, because he went off against Bournemouth and he looked in an awful lot of trouble. Thought he might be struggling for this game, but as it is, he's back fit.
Yeah, Mikel Arteta said when it's a centre-half that goes off in the way he does, you fear it's a bad one. But, Shkodran Mustafi, he's okay to play today, as Guendouzi loses out to Rodriguez in midfield. But I'll tell you what, they're working hard, that Arsenal midfield, and a little touch by McNeil won't take it away from Arsenal. And here's Bellerin down the right-hand side, and he finds Mesut Ozil making his way into the Burnley half. Tries to slip in Aubameyang. First touch isn't quite right, but it bounces kindly for Xhaka. Xhaka to Saka down the left. Saka, lovely ball in behind. Header up rather than away by me. And goalkeeper Pope comes and claims on the edge of his 6-yard box. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, by the way, has scored 7 goals in 4 games against Burnley. He's scored every time he's faced them, and until the reverse earlier this season, he'd actually scored twice in every game he played against them. He only got the one when Arsenal won 2-1 earlier this season, by the way.
What a cross that was, though, from Saka on this left-hand side. Brilliant ball again across the 6-yard box. The deliveries have been exceptional into the box so far.
The delivery from Ben Mee at the back there towards Taylor over on the left-hand side was anything but exceptional, though. Over hit and well beyond Taylor. It's a throw into Arsenal, just shy of the halfway line.
Arteta rocking the Pep Guardiola trainers.
He certainly is, in tracksuit bottoms and black thick jacket wrapped up against the cold.
I think they might be trousers he's wearing. I think that's the smart casual look.
They're very tight trousers, if so.
Not as tight as Ralph Hasenhüttl's, but they are tight. But they're tracky bottoms.
Fashion discussion here on Premier League Live. Rajay Hines has been in touch. Burnley will give Arsenal a run for their money this afternoon. And Victor Duba says Burnley 1, Arsenal 2. At TalkSport Live if you want to give us your predictions. And as always when I'm on, I like to ask you for a photo of wherever you're listening from. As Arsenal give the ball away in midfield to Rodriguez. Quickly slipped up towards Wood, edge of the 18-yard box. Wood, one step over 2. Tries to get the ball across to Rodriguez. It was behind him, and Xhaka can easily pass it off to Ozil, who was inside helping out defensively, and they've worked it left to Bukayo Saka.
Well, as Lacazette that time, a bit of a loose pass. They lost possession, and that was a trigger for Burnley to break. I think if that was Rodriguez on his left, he might have let fly, but Wood didn't really fancy it.
Guendouzi under a bit of pressure after they played out from the back, but he's managed to turn it away to Mesut Ozil. Plenty of space in the midfield for him. Aubameyang with the layoff to Ozil once more. Ozil stepping forward, square infield to Xhaka. Granit Xhaka could have left Arsenal in the January transfer window, but the arrival of Arteta's changed things. Martinelli takes it down the right-hand side. Didn't give away the goal kick as Burnley thought, but Burnley have got the ball, and it's McNeil playing it up towards J. Rodriguez. Tackle comes in on halfway by Mustafi. Throw into Burnley.
Well, again, they got out of trouble there. Arsenal playing in and around their own box. I think it was Jack Cork again going to press Guendouzi, found a way out and a good break, but they just slowed their attack down, Arsenal. A bit of a loose pass lay off from Aubameyang, and suddenly the tempo has just gone out of it. They need to keep moving this ball quickly.
Ball forward by David Luiz, taken by his fellow Brazilian Martinelli, but the first touch took it out of play, and it's a throw-in to Burnley. Martinelli, by the way, scored in each of his last 2 Premier League games. Do you want to hazard a guess how many 18 or unders have ever scored in 3 consecutive Premier League games?
None.
It has happened before. It's happened 3 times. And if I was going to say bonus points, if you can tell me who's done it, you might be able to hazard a guess at least one of them, actually. One was a real teenage sensation.
Oh, Wayne Rooney?
No. Wayne Rooney never managed it. Not aged 18 or under.
Goodness me.
The other English legendary striker that starred as a teenager.
No idea. Michael Owen?
Yes, Michael Owen is one. And the other 2, if you get these, I'll be really impressed. I'll give you the club. Both of them did it for Everton. And Rooney, as I say, not one of them.
Francis Jeffers.
Yes, good shout. Francis Jeffers as Burnley attacked down the right-hand side. I mean, that deserves a round of applause. Arsenal win possession of left-back. Danny Cadamatra. I never thought you'd get that in a million years. Good work. Hooked away forward by Westwood. Bounces once, twice, 3 times. Bends into the area. And that is back with Bernd Leno in the Arsenal goal. It's Burnley 0, Arsenal 0. Leno just puts his foot on the ball. Guendouzi is available short. Mikel Arteta scanning the field, making sure that everything is to his desire. Lacazette won't win that one. It's headed by Lowton to Tarkowski. Lowton gets a second bite of the cherry. It's down the right-hand side by Hendrick. Boomed away by Arsenal through to Nick Pope.
Well, that's where Arsenal have got to be brave playing out. You can see why, because as soon as they go long, they're not really going to win that first one. The likes of Lacazette, Aubameyang, they'll do their best in the air, but me and Tarkowski have obviously got the upper hand there. They've got to be bold and brave. Keep it on the deck, try and play their way around this pressure, but that's why Burnley are going with this high press. They want Arsenal to play long. They want Arsenal to play that aerial ball so that they can then go and win it.
More aerial duels won by Tarkowski than anyone else in the league this season. More duels won by Tarkowski than anyone else in the league this season. He knows what he's doing when it comes to exactly that sort of defending. As Leno chips out to the right-hand side, floated onto Ozil. Ozil's header finds Granit Xhaka. He's done well to work that back to the German as well. Ozil has Martinelli beyond him on the right-hand side. Just checks and turns back to Granit Xhaka. Xhaka into Matteo Guendouzi. Flowing locks. And he spreads it to the left for Bukayo Saka. Back to Guendouzi. Guendouzi's ball up towards Aubameyang, tries to spin it into Lacazette, well read by Tarkowski, and here comes Jack Cork for Burnley. Up to the right hand side for Rodriguez, bang on the halfway line. Saka forces him backwards, then the long ball down the right to nobody really in particular. Chris Wood has got his thumb up as if to suggest perhaps that was a run that he would have expected himself to make, didn't do so, and Arsenal have the ball back again with David Luiz.
But again, you saw them lose the ball there, and they worked so hard, Arsenal, to close it down, restrict those passing options for Rodriguez. He had nowhere to go, went back again, good pressure on the ball, just forces the turnover.
Ball through the middle of the field by Skodran Mustafi, but Lacazette has it taken off him, and Dwight McNeil tries to take on Bellerin. Bellerin watched it carefully. Arsenal captain in the waiting for many, and he uses Mesut Ozil down the right hand side. Interesting to see that that's generally where he has drifted today, Ozil. Wonder whether he thinks that Dwight McNeil vacates space a little bit more than Jeff Hendrick when it comes to the the wing positions, but that's certainly where Ozil has spread play to, as Arsenal go long up over to Aubameyang. Oh my goodness me, he was one-on-one with the keeper and somehow got his bearings completely wrong, stabbed it straight behind, and that's an absolute sitter for someone like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who was being played onside by Charlie Taylor over on the far side. Huge opportunity, and you were absolutely certain he was going to ripple the back of the net then. He didn't even get the outside of the netting, just straight into the hoardings wide of the right hand post of Nick Pope.
Oh, it's a terrible connection, but what a brilliant ball from David Luiz. He looked to play on the diagonal to the right hand side as the left side centre half, just reversed it down the left wing. Aubameyang was in, first touch was good, he set himself, then he just horribly screwed it wide. It was on the bounce, it was a little bit tricky, but a player of his quality, maybe that's the rustiness obviously from being out for a few games.
Might well be, as Burnley win possession through Lowton. Poor ball back to him by Woods, who's castigating himself for that terrible ball out to the right hand side for Lowton when he could have played him into space on his own. And Lowton, once forced wide, always had a difficult task of finding Wood or Rodriguez in the 18-yard box, and ended up crossing it straight into the arms of Bernd Leno.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed with that ball out, and he's got to keep it away from the goalkeeper, just give his front two a chance.
Dwight McNeil wins it back in midfield. Burnley working in the way that we have come to expect of them. Remember, they have never ever had a lead even against Arsenal in a Premier League match, let alone beaten them. In fact, it's only one draw ever. But that ball up towards Wood, and the keeper's come, and somehow ended up going through the goalkeeper's legs, but he had time to roll back and dive on top of the ball when it looked like Wood might have been in to score.
Well, it just came from another long ball, Pope this time, out to the left-hand side, Taylor with a little flick on, Wood's in behind. Leno comes rushing out, he knocks it past him, he doesn't get a clean enough contact, just allows Leno to grab the ball on the way back. Very lucky there, Leno.
Here's Lacazette to the ever-energised Saka. Saka's cross comes in, it's away by Tarkowski, and into touch on the near side.
Well, they're defending so narrow, Burnley, because obviously they're worried about the quality and the numbers Arsenal have in the middle of the park. There's an awful lot of time and space for the fullbacks, especially Saka, to deliver that ball into the box.
Leicester won the league by asking teams to cross the ball in and beat them in the air, though, didn't they, to be fair? And so far Burnley are winning the majority of those duels when they come in. Here's Saka, though, with another chance to run at the defence. He's managed to get away from Hendrick and then just ran into Lowton. Referee decided it was Saka who ran into him, and it's a goal kick.
Well, you can see why Saka is a winger, likes to play, doesn't he, in that final third, always looks to maybe get on the outside and deliver a ball in, but here's an opportunity from Chris Wood.
I think he was offside, wasn't he? Yeah, I don't think it would have counted. They had to, it's Sean Massey who's the assistant on the near side, and she kept her flag down, but I think probably VAR would have ruled that one out. Pope takes the ball with the goal kick up to Lowton, who's near enough on halfway. Long ball forward looking for Rodriguez, bounces once through to Leno. Arsenal, by the way, have won just twice away from home this season. They've drawn 7. They're actually unbeaten in 6 on the road, which is not bad for them, but it is 5 draws in that time, and in total 1 win in their last 11. That was at West Ham. And the trip to Newcastle on the opening day of the season is the only time they've won outside of London all season. 17 minutes gone. And it's nice of you to be getting in touch with us. As Martinelli loses out to me over on the far side. Cal Ali Jesse has sent us a picture of the countryside where he is, and I thought about that. St Catherine, Jamaica. Rajay Hines getting in touch. We've got Jack Frost in LA. Cup of tea. It's not very American, is it? Listening to English football, maybe you're having a nice British cuppa.
Talking of Jack Frost, it's a bit cold in Burnley, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. We're getting pictures on our monitors of some of the fans well wrapped up. And nice to have Emmanuel in Nigeria, in Port Harcourt, listening in as well. Keep them coming. Give us your predictions as well for the game. And if you want as well, later on, Tottenham against Manchester City. Pep versus Jose. Where have we heard that before? Here's Jeff Hendrick. Oh, that's a nice run by Wood. Time to bring it down as well. Into Jay Rodriguez. Forced a decent save, diving to his right by Ben Leno. He'd expect to make it, but it's a corner to Burnley.
That's a brilliant strike. Comes from Leno playing out. Look, I don't think he's the best with the ball at his feet. It's from a goal kick. He's trying to pick out Mesut Ozil. He overhits it, comes straight to me. Then they counter Burnley. Brilliant ball into Wood on the edge of the box. Takes it on his chest, unopposed. Sets Rodriguez. First time finish. Lovely technique. Laced it low into the far corner. But Leno got down well.
Corner over on the far side to be taken by Westwood. Only Arsenal themselves and Liverpool have scored more goals from corners this season than Burnley. 8 for Liverpool and Arsenal, 7 for the Clarets. And they give themselves the lead here. It's a very deep one, bending. And Bernd Leno was not convinced that wasn't going straight in. It may have been going over. Couldn't take the risk. Corner to Burnley for a second time in quick succession.
Well, my under-9 team I took this morning coaching, they conceded from almost identical sort of scenario. A corner, whipped in, just about to drop under the bar. Leno did well just to tip it over the top.
Yeah, he can reach the top of the crossbar. Imagine your 9-year-old's car.
Well, they can. They are size.
They're smaller goals. No,
yes,
I'm aware of that.
We don't play in
No, I am aware of that. But...
Although I did when I was a child.
Yeah.
That's why I scored so many goals.
I was going to say, you're like Pele, aren't you? You include goals from when you're a kid. Here comes the delivery. Into the box it goes under Bernd Leno. They obviously think that he's a bit suspect under these crosses, but he managed to push that one out and Arsenal clear the ball away. And it's forward again by Charlie Taylor. Header away is by Guendouzi. Forward again by Westwood. Was McNeil offside? No. And he emerges with the ball again, and there's plenty of room for Charlie Taylor to get forward. Former Leeds man. Hits the cross, overhits it, takes an odd bounce there off the line, very odd, but the decision is that the ball had already gone out of play by that stage, and it's a goal kick to Arsenal.
As you said, I think obviously they might be targeting Leno, certainly putting the ball from these corners right under him, on top of him, just trying to block so he can't come for it, just put him under a little bit of pressure. This is again where Arsenal play out. I'm just worried when Leno gets it. I don't think he's the best with the ball at his feet.
He's managed to find the gap there just about to Xhaka. Now here's Louise. And they clear the ball up towards Lacazette. Easy for Tarkowski. Drops to Cork. Cork gives it straight to Aubameyang though. Little scrappy passage of play. Guendouzi heads to Lacazette. 3 claret and blue shirts around him, but he's managed to squeeze it out towards Ozil. One more for Gabriel Martinelli. Martinelli running at Taylor. Squares it infield to Mesut Ozil. Decides to shoot. Took a deflection. Runs for Lacazette. Really important intervention there by Tarkowski. Ball runs out to Aubameyang on the left-hand side. Lacazette still in the area. Tarkowski turns it behind, and he seems very, very upset with Lacazette, who's still lying on the ground holding his ankle. To be fair to Lacazette, I'm not sure that he was complaining about a penalty, but somewhere in the middle of that, Tarkowski decided to remonstrate with Lacazette while the ball was still in play. And fortunately for Burnley's point of view, they managed to get away with it, and that's brilliant defending by Tarkowski, David.
Yeah, what a foot in. That looked like a certain goal, to be honest. Just fell to Lacazette, 6 yards out. Tarkowski did brilliantly to get across, and I think Tarkowski, felt that maybe Lacazette had made a dive, but I don't think he did. He just kicked the ground and he was holding his leg, but terrific interception there from Tarkowski.
So corner then to come from Mesut Ozil on the Arsenal left, an outswinger with his left foot, deep, very deep. Hits one of the Burnley heads and comes back out to Ozil. Ozil bending the ball in, away by Hendrick, comes out to Guendouzi, strikes wide. Did it take a deflection? You can tell by the reaction of the Burnley fans. That was quite a way away in the end, that shot. It did not touch anybody on the way through.
Well, I think it might have done.
It has been given as a corner. Here it comes again by Ozil. Header over the crossbar by Squadron Mustafi.
Well, what they've done well, Arsenal, on these corners is, I think they're half going up in hope more than really anything else. But if they do clear it, Burnley, they ring the box really well. By that I mean they have 2-3 players outside it, just hoping if Burnley clear it, they can pick it up and get a shot off. That's exactly what Guendouzi did there. We disappointed. Not at the target. Yes, it took a deflection, but to us, I don't think it was going on goal anyway.
Now, I have to be honest, my knowledge of the codes for the American states is not great. Do you know where PA is? We've got Steve Hanselman listening in. He's done what I love. He's got it on the telly, but he's turned down the sound and he's listening to us. Good on you. From Lancaster, PA. What's PA? Any idea? Apologies for that, Steve. It's not Philadelphia, is it? Arsenal have the ball on the right-hand side. Bellerin just overcrowded there. Westwood picks up, gives it to Cork. Now a chance for Dwight McNeil to get in behind. Time to get the cross in. It's headed away by Skodran Mustafi, and it's picked up on that far side by Westwood. Back to me, and here's the goalkeeper. Pennsylvania. Thanks for looking that one up there, David.
I do know my geography. I did get an A at school.
Yeah, good.
But I did Google that.
I was going to say, I'm not sure that they teach us the American states in British geography. Guendouzi coming forward, left of the centre circle, gave it to Saka, and Saka, he's just let the ball go out of play because he's in pain. Now, we did see him take a knock earlier on, didn't we? Quite a long time earlier on, and actually there's a number of players struggling. You can see Alex Lacazette is on his haunches as well at the moment. So Arsenal a little bit in the wars. Mikel Arteta in discussion with some of his backroom team.
Well, he's actually been forced off the pitch there. Toyera, he's warming up.
Yeah, he's not a left back, is he? Would that be a potential change of system?
Well, it could be that Xhaka, you can see Xhaka at the minute filling in that left back while the physio runs all the way around the pitch to assess Saka.
Yeah, absolutely, it's a long way round. Wouldn't catch me fit enough to do that, that's for sure. I'll just sit in my nice seat watching the football. Ball down the right hand side by Mustafi, manages to find Martinelli, but he's lost out there to the fullback Taylor. Ball forward, headed away by Mustafi. Lacazette back up into the air. He's not quite seemed to get into the pace of this game yet, Alex Lacazette, and Taylor has it. Tries to play it down the left hand side to Wood signalling that wasn't the right ball, but Mustafi was able to turn it away into touch far side, and it's a throw in to Burnley. Saka ready to come back on, all being worked across to his side of the field with Tarkowski now in the defensive phase. Gives it across to Cork over the halfway line now from Jack Cork. Here's Taylor, 15 yards inside the Arsenal half, goes back a similar amount into his own half for me. Now Hendrick in the centre circle. Square to his left for Cork. Cork slips it up to McNeil. McNeil steps away from Martinelli and continues his run. Time to get the cross in. Mustafi's arguably been Arsenal's best defender so far. Solid there. Clears it into touch over on the far side.
Well, Arteta has spoken about him, hasn't he, in quite glowing terms. You think, there's a lot to give. Mustafi has a lot to give, but I'm too sure Arsenal fans feel quite the same.
It's Rodriguez who received it, managed to get it to Taylor. The Arsenal fans think it was out of play, and it's eventually come back off of an Arsenal player and gone for a throw to Burnley.
Well, I would say it's a two centre-halves. No, they've got competition, haven't they, now, with Pablo Mari coming in?
Yeah.
So they'll both want to put on a good performance. They've done that so far.
So Curtis on the bench as well today. Another throw to Burnley. Good to have Jared getting in touch with us. Out on his delivery rounds. He's predicting a 2-0 win for Burnley today. That would really be a history-making result in terms of their Premier League history, at least, for the two-time English champions, by the way. Football didn't start in 92 when the Premier League turned up, as the cross comes in from the left-hand side into Bernd Leno's arms. And Burnley, as I say, a historic club, twice English champions. Back in the 20s and then in the 60s, I think I'm right in saying. Yeah, 1921 and 1960. Best finish in the Premier League was 7th. Arguably, the way football is nowadays, as good a result for them as winning the league back in those days. And they ended up in Europe, of course.
But they couldn't wait to get out of it.
They couldn't, that is true.
They were the, I guess, football equivalent of Brexit. They were in, couldn't wait to get out.
It wasn't good, was it? We've got Alex Salvo listening in from Disney World. Oh, please send me a picture of where you are in Disney World, preferably with Mickey Mouse and a Burnley shirt. Oh, he won't have a Burnley shirt. He's hoping Arsenal win the game. Brilliant. And we've got Chizzy White listening in from Lagos, Nigeria. That's some picture as well. Arsenal will win this 2-1. Those are a pair of shades and a half. At TalkSport Live. In the meantime, we continue to watch what has been a decent 0-0 so far. Almost half an hour gone. Guendouzi has it for Arsenal. Given away poorly, though, that time to Lowton. And Lowton's managed to work it to Woods. And now there's some space opening up for McNeil, who fires over from 30 yards. Decent hit that. And it had Bernd Leno flying high away to his left-hand side. But again, the press of Burnley forcing the errors. And this time it was McNeil's effort that goes sky high.
Well, it's Guendouzi actually trying to pick out Aubameyang, but I think Loughton just stepped in front of him, and then they built the attack. And they're not afraid to shoot, are they? Certainly not shy. We saw them against Man United. They can score from distance, and they've got good technique. And the opportunity here, you can see Burnley getting their shots off.
Martinelli is lying, it's Xhaka, I should say, lying down on the ground after sliding to win possession, and the referee has elected to say that was a foul. Burnley have won just 2 of their last 6 games at Turf Moor. But one of those was last time out against Leicester. When they keep a clean sheet at Turf Moor this season, they end up winning the game every single time, 5 times. Sorry, you were going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, as the game is going so far, it's sort of seen a lot from Arsenal, dominating the ball, but can they just get a goal in terms of that early pressure? We saw that at Bournemouth, they got an early one, they settled down, they haven't got one here, and I know Mikel Arteta will want to turn some of these draws into victories, and where might they be? Those 12 draws, absolutely incredible.
Yeah. They're the opposite of Tottenham in so many ways. Remember last year when Tottenham didn't ever want to draw a game, or when Burnley have given the ball away to Lacazette, but it came off of an Arsenal man, and it's an offside flag up against the Frenchman, who for me looks sort of the most off the pace for Arsenal so far today. I don't know if you think that's fair, but I'm not sure he was off there, No,
I think he was onside. They were lucky, fortunate.
Bouncing off the Arsenal player and going forward. And he was very, very tight. In the meantime, down the other end, Burnley have a throw. Taylor gets it back from Westwood, awkward chest height, but he brought it down nicely and released it to Cork. Back to Taylor. Martinelli tracking back. Feature of his play that has clearly impressed Mikel Arteta to such a point that he's taken record signing Nicolas Pepe's place. Would have been easy for him to drop Martinelli today, in spite of the 2 goals that he's scored in his last 2 Premier League games. As an offside flag goes up against Taylor. Given the return of Aubameyang, could have been quite easy to say, look, you're the junior one in that attack, it's time we sat you out. But he's been brave, he's made the call, and he's gone for the kid. Over the £72 million Nicolas Pepe. Burnley turning the ball forward once again. Squadron Mustafi beating Wood to it, but it bounces out kindly for Rodriguez. Cork, Rodriguez, and then poorly given away by Hendrick. Picked up by Guendouzi. Curly hair flowing behind him. He works it up to Granit Xhaka. Quickly moved on to Aubameyang. Aubameyang can't get past Lowton. And there's a throw into Arsenal.
I mean, this system, does it get the best out of Aubameyang? Probably not. He likes to play through the middle. If he plays through the middle, though, Lacazette doesn't get in the team. So it's a question of accommodating them. And he hasn't really looked happy out wide of Aubameyang so far. He had that chance which he should have done better with, but so far they just haven't functioned, have they, off the front, Arsenal?
Nope. Arsenal have won it in midfield though there with Guendouzi, and it's the first time volleyed pass to the left to Aubameyang. Just can't get past Lowton at the moment, and it's easy for him to come away. Abiola said Burnley will win 2-1, and Nimale says Arsenal will nick it 2-1. Everybody thinks this is going to be a close one. Burnley have it. It's getting a bit nickety in the midfield at the moment.
Well, I think the fans certainly felt there was a foul there, Mustafi on Big Chris Wood, but the referee just allowed play to go on.
And Burnley continue in possession with Taylor on the left-hand side. Back to Cork, and now here's Tarkowski. Up to McNeil, inside right position. He's vacated his left wing ball, and there's the ball in, which was either a slip or a missed attempted clearance there by Bailey, and one or the other bounced up towards Wood, but the keeper Leno picks up.
Well, it's a good ball into the box from Dwight McNeil, cutting in off this right, using that in-swinger delivery. He's got lovely feet, especially that left one. Bellerin, not the cleanest of contacts. He tried to clear it, completely missed it, and just bounced up. Leno grabbed it with both hands.
20 years old, Dwight McNeil. Started all 25 games now this season in the Premier League. He's the youngest in the Premier League to have started every game his team have played. Wood can't keep possession there, but Mustafi comes in, but it's only at the expense of a throw. And it's Cork to McNeil. Did the ball go out of play? It did, yeah. McNeil was continuing on, hadn't spotted the decision, but it was a throw. Throw in by Taylor into Wood, right down by the byline. Tackle came in by Mustafi. He's really stuck to Wood today. He's done his job well. Mee heads it forward again. That's Xhaka though, managing to head it out to the far side in Ozil. Ozil's got Martinelli coming forward, tries to find Lacazette infield instead. It was just ahead of the Frenchman, and Lowton picks up and gives to Taylor. Martinelli chasing him. Little trip, but Taylor kept it on his feet, and he slipped it down the left for Rodriguez. Wants it on his right foot. Rodriguez tries to cross, blocked by David Luiz. Oh dearie me, Westwood gets absolutely taken out by his teammate Dwight McNeil there, and Arsenal emerged with the ball. That was some tackle. He was just on his own man.
Well, if they can't tackle an Arsenal player, then just tackle each other. That seems to be it. But the two fullbacks you mentioned, Lowton on this right, even Charlie Taylor on the left, have had a really good game so far. Kept the likes of Martinelli and Aubameyang quiet brilliantly so far.
Oh, look at that looping touch there by Ozil over the top of his nearest man and into Bellerin. That's the sort of beauty that he can bring to football. Just perhaps he needs to be doing that in a more advanced place, as Arsenal managed to get the ball up to Aubameyang, and he's tried from very close range to loop over Nick Pope, but it was always going to be a difficult skill to do so. Another intelligent run by Aubameyang. Lovely ball to find him as well by Granit Xhaka, and Arsenal thwarted by the goalkeeper Nick Pope.
Oh, it's a brilliant little pick out there from Granit Xhaka. Lovely run from Aubameyang. Started out wide, ran across the face of Lowton, who lost him. Good first touch. I just wondered, could he take it first time? Maybe not, but then once it bounced down and Pope came out, he was so close to him, he had to go low and through his legs. Instead he tried to lift it over him, didn't have enough room. Pope did well.
Long ball away by Burnley, will drop into touch. Still 0-0, 37th minute of the game.
I mean, he's had the two best chances, hasn't he, Aubameyang? Arguably should have scored both of them, to be honest.
We've got Farley on footy, who's got in touch, listening from South Florida, where the Super Bowl will be played later today, of course. Miami, I think, if I'm right in saying. He said it's sunny and a balmy 14 Celsius, but it'll be 21 later today. Lucky you. I am going to be watching the Super Bowl today, but I have to confess I'm not very interested in it. I'm just hanging out with my mates. Here's McNeil's ball into the box. Got an awful long way to Hendrick. What a chance that was. And from about 16 yards out on his right foot. It was a little bit awkward, but he's put it over the crossbar.
Yeah, it's a good move from Burnley down that left-hand side. Lovely ball in from McNeil. It misses everyone. It actually goes behind the whole back four. Comes to Hendrick. He tries the first time finish. Really really difficult. He's about 16 yards out, just inside the box, went with his side foot and he just went a yard over the bar on the diagonal. Maybe could have taken a touch there. He had the space, he had the room.
Long ball towards the near side is out of play. Aubameyang has gone down from his leap to try and win it, and he looks in some pain. Don't think Aubameyang, for all of his talent, don't think he's a Sean Dyche type of player, is he? He's looking on with a smirk on his face, Sean Dyche, at the reaction by Aubameyang. I think he likes, how can I put it, slightly more robust footballers.
Possibly, but I think he'd certainly have him in his team without a shadow of a doubt.
You're probably right, yeah, absolutely. It's with Hendrick, he's won that well. It's fallen to Wood, who's onside. Wood gets it across to McNeil, fancies a strike again himself, takes a deflection. Can Leno prevent the corner? No. Corner to Burnley.
Again, it's another shot from distance, isn't it? They're not afraid, are they, Burnley, to get their shots off. That time from McNeil. I think it's ambitious. I'd like to see them work their way into the box, but they seem hesitant to do that, whether they feel they haven't got the ability, or whether they feel that they've scored some goals from distance lately against United and it's worth trying their luck. But I think maybe at times just work their way into the box might be a better approach.
I think Xhaka's in some pain there. He didn't get the ball off of Hendrick and then kicked the bottom of Hendrick's foot. Why doesn't that count as a studs up challenge by Hendrick there?
Yeah,
it's the ball into the box, deep from the corner. It's well defended that time by Louise at the back post. Heads it point for another corner.
Well, in the 6-yard box there's about, how many, 18 players? 16 players? Literally both teams all within.
Well, 3 Burnleys, although Rodriguez is just vacating, being marked by Bellerin.
Well, by the time this is taken, there's going to be nearly 20 players in that 6-yard box, all in and around Bernd Leno.
Yeah, they've certainly decided this is their tactic for this, isn't it? Here it comes once again, deep, gone a long way. They're blocking off Leno. Tarkowski wins it. Will it drop to Rodriguez? It will, but his body's away from goal. Cross comes in by Dwight McNeil, bounces away fortuitously for Arsenal, but it's coming straight back at them. McNeil's cross, in goes Mee, puts it over the bar.
Mee just gets the run on in front of Tarkowski. I think maybe if Mee had missed this, Tarkowski might have had a better chance. Keep this header down. Instead, Mee heads it over the bar, but they just keep it alive here. I'm not sure it's the best cross from McNeil that got blocked. I think he could have done a little bit better in the end. They retain it, get it wide, get it into the box. That looks like their most likely chance of scoring today, Burnley.
Goal kick to Arsenal. David Luiz is the latest to be a bit in the wars as it finally gets cleared away by the goalkeeper. It'll drop to Martinelli. Martinelli can't get away from all of those in claret and blue, and the hook ball forward to Westwood, and suddenly Rodriguez is onto it down the left hand side. Time to pick out Westwood again. Now here's Cork slips it to McNeil. What's the cross like this time? Takes a deflection, bounces to the edge of the 18-yard box. Header away is by Aubameyang. Back in again by Burnley though. Rodriguez beaten by Skodran Mustafi, but it drops to Cork. Cork gets help from Taylor. Taylor slips it up to Dwight McNeil. Up against Mesut Ozil. Easy to get away from him until Ozil sticks out a leg. Gives away a needless free kick, which Burnley will take with glee.
Really good skill here from Dwight McNeil. This is called a stop-start. He gets the ball out wide and left. You see Ozil's coming. He stops the ball, then he shifts it again just to buy half a yard. Look at that. Just sucks Ozil in. He's trying to teach me under 9s that this morning. Little stop-start and then you go again.
3.5 minutes plus stoppage time at the end of the first half. Burnley 0, Arsenal 0. In the last few minutes, Burnley looked the more likely. Bob Gilbert's clearing snow off his driveway in Buffalo, New York. Here's the delivery from Burnley, flicked on off of an Arsenal header, very, very nearly into the back of his own net. Jay Rodriguez is saying, why isn't it a corner? In fact, the entire Burnley team are. I'm telling you, that came off of an Arsenal head, and they're very fortunate that hasn't gone for a corner. It was Granit Xhaka who got the touch. Nobody else anywhere close to it. Definite corner, and Arsenal get the fortune.
Terrible decision there. It's a brilliant ball in, and then Xhaka did ever so well just to flick that away, guide it away from goal, because Burnley were lining up to head that in.
Lacazette underneath that long clearance by Leno. It's interesting that he's gone long. No more of this short clearance. Burnley deal with it defensively. Ball forward, foul by Louise onwards.
Well, you know why that is? Because they're approaching, the end of the first half. That's the sort of game management, I think, from Arteta. Don't want to take any chances. They'll accept, look, it's 0-0. They're not going to lose the ball. This close to half-time, couple of minutes to go, playing out, so we'll go long.
The running elf has sent us a picture of Newport Beach, California, where he's running the trails. Might be a she, of course. Lovely. Any of those that you'd rather be at than Burnley Arsenal? Any of those pictures we've had?
I'm glad I'm not shoveling snow.
I love a snowy sea. Take me skiing any day. Prefer that than the heat. Now was that a stud in the head of Ben Mee? No, he's absolutely fine by Ozil. It's going to be a free kick to Burnley. Fortunate that he didn't take the stud in the face.
Well, I'm sure if that was the other way round, Mesut Ozil would be rolling around, but Ben Mee just gets up, shrugs it off, brushes it
off.
Box.
Can he get a goal? Absolutely.
Oh, look, he's going to book Ozil here for not coming towards him.
He did kick the ball away, didn't he, Mesut Ozil, into the advertising hoardings. It was sort of short range, and it was in frustration, and on his 250th appearance for Arsenal, Mesut Ozil is given a yellow card. Most of the statistics analysed of his building up to this game have been goals and assists. Not totally sure how many yellows he's got. Ball in by Burnley is headed, or flicked away anyway by Bellerin. It'll be picked up by Hendrick. Down by the corner flag he takes himself, tries some silky skills and does manage to get the cross in towards me, and it drops down into the goalkeeper. With Tarkowski lurking, he had to make that right and hold on to it there. But great work by Hendrick down the right to get the cross in.
Yeah, brilliant run. Just takes on Guendouzi. Obviously Guendouzi's got lots of qualities, maybe pace isn't one of them. Takes him to the byline. Lovely little pick out. You could say Rodriguez.
I think he got the skim on it, didn't he?
Yeah, he holds his head. He knows maybe he could have done better with that header back from Ben Mee, but brilliant ball in from Hendrick.
It's been one of the more entertaining 0-0 halves I've watched this season. Saka takes the throw, gives it to Guendouzi. We move into stoppage time at the end of the first 45. I didn't quite catch how long. 1 minute. 1 minute as Guendouzi. Oh, that's a nice ball down the right hand side, releasing Ozil. Ozil being held up by Taylor down by the corner flag. Taylor trying to get a toe in. He's got it out there as well. He's done really well to get that out, although his clearance is into touch and the throw level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Guendouzi tackled. McNeil picks up, tries to turn Bellerin. Spaniard fouls him. Free kick to Burnley.
Well, it's a brilliant ball over the top from Mesut Ozil. The problem is he's now on the right hand side, predominantly left footed, forced down the line, couldn't really put it in with his right, and obviously Charlie Taylor again defended it really well. I think the two Burnley fullbacks have been brilliant.
Sean Dyche delivering a final message right at the end of this first half, and I would be pretty sure that when Nick Pope clears this from the free kick, the referee will blow his half-time whistle. In fact, it doesn't even get to that point. So half-time, it's been an entertaining encounter, but no goals as of yet. Both sides threatening. Half-time here. Burnley 0, Arsenal 0 on Premier League Live.
TalkSport. Download the TalkSport app now for online fun, fixture talk, and lashings of live football. Football. Then stick it in your ear. Ouch. TalkSport. This is what real sport sounds like.
Hello, I'm Tom Rennie from TalkSport, and you've made the decision to listen to Premier League Live. I commend you on this decision. You're clearly a person who knows what's up and what's happening, as well as other phrases from 80s movies said by generic cool people in said movies. For example, Emilio Estevez. With that being said, why not try downloading TalkSport's football-related Game Day podcasts? Ahead of a Premier League weekend, usually on Thursday, Sam Matterface hosts the Game Day Premier League Preview Show podcast. On Saturday, we cut up the very best of our manager reaction and player interviews, bung in a few funny callers, and hey presto, you get the Your Verdict podcast. And on Monday morning, Danny Kelly is joined by the likes of Mark Webster, Mark Smith, Steve Lomas, David Connolly, and a host of other affordable names to look back at the footballing weekend, picking out the winners and losers in the Record Book podcast. Just search for Game Day Podcast and they will appear. I'm in some of these shows too.
Talk Sport. Don't be like Alan Brazil. Never miss a day's output with the new updated Talk Sport app. Is that right, Alan?
I'm absolutely knackered.
Download the app at talksport.com. This is what real sport sounds like.
This Saturday is Game Day on TalkSport 2.
Your go-to destination for a full-service Premier League experience.
One day, so much football.
He shoots, he scores.
This Saturday is Game Day on TalkSport 2.
It is game on.
TalkSport. Download the TalkSport app now for online fun, fixture talk, and lashings of live football. Football. Then stick it in your ear. Ouch. TalkSport. This is what real sport sounds like.
Saturday is Game Day on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
It's big ticket live Premier League football you can't afford to miss.
Hi, I'm Matt Target from Aston Villa.
Hi, I'm Bournemouth centre-back Chris Mepham.
Hi, I'm Jan Vertongen. Listen to Game Day on TalkSport.
Game Day.
It's a brilliant goal.
This Saturday
on TalkSport and TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League. TalkSport. Get with the net, Grandad. Make space on your mobile for the TalkSport phone app, the channel-hopping, station-swapping gizmo that's taking the UK by storm. It's ear trumpet compatible. Download the TalkSport app now at talksport.com.
Well, we might not have had any goals, but it's been a good one. Will go long up over to Aubameyang. Oh my goodness me, he was one-on-one with the keeper and somehow got his bearings completely wrong, stabbed it straight behind, and that's an absolute sitter for someone like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Oh, that's a nice run by Woods. Time to bring it down as well. Into Jay Rodriguez. Forced a decent save, diving to his right by Bentley. A looping touch there by Ozil over the top of his nearest man and into Bailey. What sort of beauty bring to football.
It's been a good game, end to end, quite open, and it's in the balance.
Where are Arsenal going wrong today? Because they have created the odd chance, but arguably the better chances. I think at one point you said, why aren't Burnley sort of trying to get into the box a bit more? The shots have generally come from distance. So I guess Arsenal defending their box well enough, but it's not been. You've never really felt like they were on top in the game.
No, I mean, look, sometimes they're taking a little bit of time to go from their box to the opposition box in terms of building up. Burnley put an awful lot of energy and trying to press them high up the park, force Arsenal into those longer passes which Burnley gobble up with those two at the back. But early on they put some terrific balls into the box, Arsenal. They really did. And look, they should have maybe taken the lead. Think about Lacazette's header, completely unmarked.
Absolutely.
They've had the three best chances.
Yeah, the throw by Aubameyang, the chance for Aubameyang was an unbelievable miss by his standards.
Absolutely, both of them. The one on the volley which bounced through, and obviously the one when Pope came out. So they've had the better chances, but look, you've got to say that front unit hasn't really fired, has it? Let's be honest. I mean, Ozil's done okay, probably 5 or 6 out of 10 as he has been, I think, since he's been there. Lacazette, Aubameyang, pretty similar. Martinelli's been quiet. I think the two fullbacks have done really well, apart from Lowton just switched off for those runs from Aubameyang from wide inside.
Yeah,
but
difficult to mark.
Difficult to mark. Apart from that, I think it's been a pretty good game, very even.
Look, I mean, we're not looking at in Arsenal a side that are top 4, but I don't think, are we? And probably in Burnley absolutely no concern of any relegation trouble.
No, I don't think so, but the game is there, it's in the balance. I think Burnley, look, if we keep putting balls in on top of Leno, you know, if we keep forcing them to defend, Arsenal might make a mistake. That's what they're saying, you know. I guess, could they do a bit more creativity, Arsenal, in the middle of the park? Guendouzi's done alright, he's ratted around, but, you know, I think against Burnley, I don't know, that's where maybe in the transfer window, did they get enough quality in there? Have they got enough in their locker to unlock teams? Do they need two holding midfield players, for example, away against Burnley? You know, Burnley aren't going to have a lot of the ball. You know, they might have got the height of Guendouzi and Xhaka, but do they need something else just to unlock a door?
Well, I mean, what on earth has happened to Dani Ceballos, who looked great initially, didn't he, under Emery?
Yeah, he did, and
he looked like he
was on the way out, but he came on at Bournemouth, and you felt, oh, okay, well, maybe he's got a chance. I don't know if we'll see him. I'm not too sure, but he'd be the sort of player today you think might thrive in just opening up and picking out little people in the pockets. I think Martinelli's been disappointing so far.
Not played in the Premier League since November the 2nd against Wolves, Dani Ceballos. Incidentally, in the 2-1 win for Arsenal early in the season against Burnley, who got both assists? Dani Ceballos. He can do it against Burnley. The question is, will he get the opportunity to do so today? Now, a little bit later on, of course, we're going to have a very, very big game between Tottenham and Manchester City. Jose Mourinho, of course, renewing his rivalry with Pep Guardiola, and he had some very interesting thoughts on how it's gone for him against the City boss in recent years.
With him, nothing. With him, I remember more the 3 years that we fought on the same side, working together in the same club and sharing the space of the work every day for 3 years. I remember more that than what people can think about rivalry. Then, of course, Barcelona's and Real Madrid, Inter and Barcelona in Champions League, City and United, now Tottenham and City. But again, no Jose and Pep. Clubs, teams, and that's just one more chapter, a new chapter for us, because it's the first time Tottenham against Manchester City with us, but never Jose and Giuseppe like he is in his Catalan. So for me, it's a game that I want to win, because I want my team to win, and we need points. More than that.
Do we ever see Jose Mourinho getting back to those levels that he had under Pep Guardiola? Or prior to Pep Guardiola, I should say.
I think it's going to be a challenge. There's no doubt. Well, look at the golfing class you've seen this season at the top of the Premier League. I mean, look, when he got the job, he said he didn't need any other players. He was really happy with these players. These are the players that, you know, if he could have, he would have chosen them. As it is, you know, I got to say, look, I saw them at St Mary's, and I thought they were much, much improved recently than they were in the game before that, where they were completely blown away. They just were terrible in possession. I think it's hard to know what sort of side Jose is trying to forge at Tottenham. I'm still not sure. I don't know whether they're a counter-attacking. I've seen them play like that, a counter-attacking team. I've seen them build possession against Burnley at home, where they were brilliant. But that's Jose's way, isn't it? He plays a certain way against certain teams and a certain way against others, and I just don't know if he's quite got that balance right in terms of the players that he's got at the football club. Look, Lo Celso's, I think, is a good signing, good permanent signing. I'm sure he'll turn out to be, you know, a wonderful player for them. You know, they're missing Harry Kane, we know. I don't know, it's hard to know how Jose is going to work out as a manager, because I don't know, is he going to get money to improve from Daniel Levy? I don't know, because normally he needs hundreds of millions. I don't know whether he's going to get it.
Under normal circumstances, I'd be really excited at a signing like Steven Bergwijn, who's been incredible in the Dutch league and has done it on the international stage as well. But we all know about Jose and wingers and the demands that he places upon them defensively. And I just wonder whether that almost tempers the excitement of a player with that quality going forward when you know what he's going to be asked to do under Jose.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you talk to Damien Duff or Arjen Robben, they'd say, you know, absolutely brilliant, but obviously they had to put a lot of work going that way and that way. Yeah. I think they've got actually enough strength out wide. I think it's a great signing, but I think they actually needed a bit more strength through the middle.
Interesting. Well, look, we're going to find out whether he gets the opportunity to play later on when Alex Crook comes along with Steve Lomas for Tottenham against Manchester City, Jose against Pep. In the meantime, though, we've got 45 more minutes of a very entertaining clash, if live, still 0-0 between Burnley and Arsenal here on Premier League Live.
Saturday is game day on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
It's big ticket live Premier League football you can't afford to miss.
Hi, Frank Lampard here. Hi, I'm Jack Grealish from Game Day.
I'm Nick Pope, Burnley goalkeeper.
I'm Ross Barkley. Remember that Saturday is game day on TalkSport.
Game day.
It's a brilliant goal.
This Saturday
on TalkSport and TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League.
TalkSport.
Impress lost tribespeople of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated TalkSport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at TalkSport.com now.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new TalkSport swimming pool. Goff, no running there, boy. But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport. The Sports Bar with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy on Talk Sports.
Get a pickled egg, some pork scratchings and a punch up by the pool table in the tasty local battle cruiser where you get 2 Cockney loudmouths for the price of 1.
The usual, is it, sir? 2 Nelsons and a packet of Jelly Hill flavoured crisps.
Cool, blimey, I love a duck, governor. Time, gentlemen, please, to listen to the Sports Bar.
Open for business weeknights from 10 on Talk Sports.
TalkSport. Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to TalkSport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Welcome back to Badger Watch. We've been unlucky the last 2 nights, and unfortunately we haven't seen any badgers yet, but fingers crossed we'll be in luck tonight. Hang on. I think this might be it. It looks like something is about to emerge from the den.
Excuse me, mate. Do you know if there's a bookies around here anywhere? The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6 o'clock on TalkSport.
Discovering a brave new world of big names, big games, bravado, volley and bookies. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6.
Crikey, it's Alanus Brazilius
on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com.
Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder.
TalkSport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Burnley against Arsenal from Turf Moor. I'm your host, Toby Gillis. Alongside me, a former Premier League and Republic of Ireland striker, David Connolly. This is Premier League Live. And David Connolly, I think Arsenal are going to be bringing on a certain Mr. Torreira. Where do we imagine he makes a difference for them? Because we're seeing Guendouzi and Xhaka coming back out.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this lines up.
I wonder whether it's Saka that's that problem that he had.
Maybe. There's 3 midfield destroyers on the pitch. We were speaking about they might need a little bit of creativity, but yeah, it might be Saka, which means, I don't know, would Xhaka operate as a left back? Have to wait and see, would it be a change in shape?
Or maybe the 3. Yeah, it is Saka that's coming off. It's a shame because he put in some good quality balls into the box, didn't he? But Lucas Torreira makes his appearance, the Uruguayan, for the second period, as the 2 coaches make their way across the pitch to the technical area, which unusually for the Premier League is on the other side from the tunnel. But it'll be Burnley that get us underway, shooting from right to left. It does look like it's 3 at the back, at least initially, the way they're setting up. And well, It's we'll work it out as and when. But Burnley immediately back to Tarkowski, plays it short to his right hand side. Lowton goes forward, touch on by Westwood, out to the right hand side, and Kendrick. Westwood beyond him, back it comes to Lowton. We'll give you the full 11s in just a moment's time. Here's Tarkowski, forward ball to Westwood. Now here's Jack Cork in the centre circle. Well, we can definitely give you the Burnley 11. We know how that is. Nick Pope in goal. Back four: Lowton, Tarkowski, me and Taylor. Hendrick, Cork, Westwood and McNeil in midfield, and then Wood and Rodriguez up front. And as Arsenal boom the ball away, it is Xhaka who's gone in at left back, isn't it? And it looks to me like it's the same system that they had in the first 45. So that means the revised lineup: Leno in goal. As a foul goes Arsenal's way. Bellerin, Mustafi, Luiz, and now Xhaka at left back. Guendouzi and Torreira in midfield. Martinelli, Ozil, Aubameyang and Lacazette up front.
Well, I think now if I was Sean Dyche, he's got Jeff Hendrick up against Xhaka. I'll be putting Dwight McNeil out on that side. Just giving him the ball at every opportunity. He's found it, tough at times. I mean, he's quick, isn't he? He's quite strong as well. Bellerin, McNeil hasn't got past him that often, but certainly Xhaka's not a natural fullback. Giving him the ball.
He is at the very least a left footer, so I think he'll be alright in terms of crosses if he's able to get forward, that kind of thing. How difficult is it mid-game to change? If you've had a week building up knowing you're going to play there, fair enough, it's one thing, but mid-game to change your position quite as drastically as centre mid to left back?
Well, I did see Xhaka operate as a left side centre half at times against Brighton, so he is used to being in that sort of vicinity, and he's shown his adaptability. I guess this is where they need the likes of Fiorentini to be back fit, Kolasinac for example. It's not ideal, is it, to then drop a midfielder back into left back? Kolasinac
isn't that far away. I mean, it was a possibility he might have played today by all accounts, but you're hearing boos because Burnley are being pushed back from Arsenal, I should say, are being pushed back from where they were trying to take a free kick. They've taken it now. Luiz comes back to Leno. Guendouzi from Leno. Ooh, we might have played them into trouble there. Down the left hand side, picked up by Westwood. Westwood's got Rodriguez with him. Might find a gap to McNeil, does do so. Coming back at him is Martinelli. McNeil uses Rodriguez. 3 in the box for Burnley if they can get the cross in. Instead they come back towards halfway. Here's me. And he uses Tarkowski, and he'll boot it forward left-footed. Down the left for Taylor. Bellerin might have played it into his path. Instead, Taylor's just decided to let that one run out for the throw-in, and it's a throw to Burnley about level with the penalty spot, which Charlie Taylor will take.
It looked like they lost a little bit of momentum there, didn't it, Burnley? They worked their way really close to the Arsenal goal. Again, playing out under pressure, Arsenal. Guendouzi nearly giving it away.
First time they have actually been caught out, I think, though, playing that way in this game, to be fair to them. But, once is once too many, potentially. Taylor takes it, but can only give it to Torreira. Hooked over his own shoulder by Martinelli. Comes across, does me, and puts it into touch on the near side. At TalkSport Live, we've just had somebody send us a picture of the donuts that they've made. Oh, it's banana bread, apologies. Mini banana breads. Are you a fan? Fan of banana bread? Do you want one of them? Looks like
that's nice.
Is that yet to be cooked, I think? That looks doughy, doesn't it? That's yet to be cooked. Lovely. Thanks, Carol. Everybody else can get in touch at TalkSport Live. Pictures, please. We love what you're doing, where you are, and also your thoughts on this game and how it's going. As Burnley go long, I thought for a moment that might loop over Luiz. His header away falls only to Rodriguez. His nod back into the box is headed away by Luiz again, and then Tarkowski picks up in the centre circle, bounces back to me, and here's Taylor on the left. Martinelli comes across to block, to challenge. Infield it goes to McNeil. Dwight McNeil. Taylor. Cork. One of the things that struck me when preparing for this commentary, I'll say that in a minute, because Westwood's ball to the right hand side, done really well. Lowton, ball in by Kendrick, takes a deflection, away it comes to Kendrick again. Now a chance for Westwood to cross, good ball towards Wood. Mustafi deals with it really well, and then the flag is up for offside anyway.
Yeah, he was unlucky, just went crashing early here, Chris Wood. But good play from Burnley, they keep it alive. Not the most convincing clearance from David Luiz. Hendrick with the ball set back, brilliant ball into the box. It might have been Lowton that time, but Wood just half a yard the other side of Mustafi.
I was about to say that the thing that really struck me about Burnley when I was preparing for this commentary is that you look down the squad, and other than Dwight McNeil, who's 20, every single fit player in this squad is 27 or over, bar Charlie Taylor, who's 26. At some point this team's going to need renewing, isn't it? And they're really reluctant to spend money, and they've got nobody to sell to make in order to buy.
No, that's right, and I think Sean Dyche was saying that, wasn't he, in terms of the window. I didn't know the budget that he had available, which was a bit of a concern. As I said, 15 mil for this man Wood, and Ben Gibson is still their record signing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's problematic potentially in the relatively near future. Key players reaching 30 or more now.
Well, certainly the best one, the youngster, is Dwight McNeil, and they can manage to keep hold of him, but he's found it tough to get past Bellerin today. I think that's why I'd maybe put him on the opposite side, get him coming infield. When he's going down the line, Bellerin's reading it.
There's Ozil. I mean, it's a real problem, isn't it? Because, as you say, McNeil's the one they need to try and keep him, if only for the age profile in some ways, but equally he's probably their most saleable asset. So how do you balance that? Very, very awkward. And I'm not sure how much he'd be worth even in today's market. He's not a superstar yet, is he? That's for sure. You know, maybe right now, 30 maybe in today's crazy market.
Well, look, if he continues playing and progressing, you think he's got a really good chance of obviously building his career, maybe making that step up to another bigger club. He's had a great impact in this first team.
Westwood floats it out to Lowton on the right hand side, forced back by Aubameyang into his own half. Tarkowski booms that ball forward. Wood gets in behind Luiz, holds it up right side of the box, gives it to Kendrick. Here's the cross, in it comes, headed away by Bellerin. I think I've started calling him Kendrick for some reason. Hendrick, don't know where I've got that from. Here's McNeil anyway on the near side with the cross. Ooh, Wood did get up on that. Good block there by Luiz, hooked away by Arsenal up towards halfway.
Another brilliant ball into the box. That time Wood rose above David Luiz. It actually, though, came back off David Luiz, the back of his head. And they keep knocking at the door here, Burnley.
They certainly do. That one bounces towards Wood, but Luiz nicks in, takes it away. Here's Guendouzi. Luiz has continued his run forward if Guendouzi wants to find him. Instead it's out to Ozil, and Luiz starts the long trudge back into his own half. Guendouzi, Ozil approaching the edge of the Burnley box. That's a nice ball into Martinelli. Martinelli takes a deflection. His shot bounces once into Pope. Comfortable save. Just for a split second there, I thought it was opening up for the Brazilian.
Well, it did. Lovely little ball into him from Mesut Ozil, who lets the ball run across his body. Maybe could have taken his shot on early. He doesn't. Tries to shift it again, and by that time, chance was gone. It's a good block from the Burnley defender. Lacazette looks at him imploring as if to say, well, you could have actually passed to me, but he didn't.
Burnley have failed to score in just one of their last 5 home games. But it has to be said, they rarely get more than one, so... Although they did get 2 against Leicester, of course, but generally speaking, it's not been something that they've done much of.
Well, I think Arsenal is the only team of the Big 6 that Sean Dyche has never taken a point on.
He is. So you're absolutely right.
He'll be happy with this.
They're the only side that he's played twice or more in the Premier League that he's never beaten at all. And of course he broke that duck against Manchester United last time out, exactly the same statistic in the Premier League, but this one's proving arguably more difficult at the moment as Lowton is just hacked down there by Xhaka, and now surely that's a yellow card as well, customary for the Swiss.
Well, that is why I'd have Dwight McNeil out there coming inside, because as soon as you attack Granit Xhaka on the inside, you're onto his weaker right foot. Here's Lowton driving down the line, checks inside. Granit Xhaka with a terrible challenge. Typical midfielder's challenge, that one. Just steps across him, goes with his wrong leg, his leading left foot, just takes Loughton out.
I have to say, I've felt for Xhaka since his move from Borussia Mönchengladbach, where he was an absolute superstar, but I think he was signed as a defensive player. It's just not his game. He was box to box in Germany and absolutely brilliant at it. Goals, assists, the works. Here's the cross. It's in towards Tarkowski, who heads it wide. The Arsenal players are complaining that no flag was put up, but that was half a chance at least as he dived in. And I think he would have been offside if eventually the VAR had needed to come into play.
Well, Arsenal have got a really high defensive line, about 2 yards, 3 yards outside the box. It's an outswinger. What they do, Burnley, put two on the ball, one with their arm up, just to deceive the Arsenal back line. You know, they took it in early into a space, an outswinger, so there's plenty of room, plenty of time for those defenders to get on the end of it. But again, me and Tarkowski get in each other's way. That time I think it was Tarkowski took it off the head of me, and in the first half it was the opposite way round.
I don't know if you noticed there that Arsenal stopped playing out from the back after the last time, and that is, I mean, to be fair, under Unai Emery, one of the criticisms of them was that they didn't learn when it was going wrong. So, you know, under Mikel Arteta, at least at this moment in time, they've gone, okay, it's not working for us, we're prepared to just kick it long. Well, admittedly, they lost out to Tarkowski, but it's a lot further up the field to lose the ball. Cork, bending ball down the right. Can't get the ball into a teammate. Xhaka picks up. This is Luis. Ball forward looking for Martinelli. One by Taylor, and he's got the second ball as well from McNeil. Continues his run. Martinelli chasing him, but Taylor has gone an awful long way. Continues all the way towards the byline, tricks his way infield. Torreira makes the tackle. Well, for me, got plenty of the ball there, then took the man, but Torreira has given away a free kick in a dangerous position and been booked for his troubles as well, the little Uruguayan.
Yeah, terrific little take up the pitch here from Charlie Taylor. Just runs away from Martinelli, sucks him in, little chop back inside, then he goes on the inside of Torreira, it takes him down. He's got a yellow too, so that's two Arsenal players in a short space of time, Torreira and Xhaka with a yellow.
Burnley's last win in the league against Arsenal was at the Old Highbury back in September 1974. How they'd love to break that duck.
They just haven't got going here, have they, in the second half, Arsenal?
No,
they're really sloppy and slow to come out.
And there's plenty of height available in the box as well. Here's the delivery towards the near post. And I think it was me that got the header on that one, or was it Rodriguez? One or the other at the near post. And it's gone wide either way.
Well, if I'd had one criticism of these Burnley players is that they're almost making the same run. Again, I think it's me and Tarkowski just getting each other's way. I think it's Rodriguez actually. Sorry, it just gets in front of Ben Mee. Can't direct his header on goal, and that's a good chance. Only a couple of yards out. Rodriguez will be disappointed with that.
Burnley won't have a better chance of beating Arsenal under Sean Dyche, will they? Not than today. They're there for the taking, I think, at this moment in time.
Certainly how they come out in this second half.
Lacazette manages to nod that one onto Aubameyang. That's nice. Into Martinelli. Chance for Ozil dancing forward. Took a touch too many. Runs into Cork. His pass out to Rodriguez down the middle of the field. Rodriguez with time now in the centre circle. He's got runner to the left in Dwight McNeil. Uses him now. Took maybe a bit too much time for my liking there. McNeil moving infield. Header away from the cross by Louise. Back to McNeil. Dwight McNeil uses Charlie Taylor. Infield to Jeff Hendrick. Now Mee to Tarkowski. A little Cruyff turn away from Ozil. Probably more used to doing them himself and having them fool him. There's the run down the right by Loughton. There's the cross after receiving it back from Hendrick. Arsenal defending stoutly and resolutely. Cork. Loughton. Drilled ball across the field to Charlie Taylor. Lovely. Can he get the cross in? Touches it back to McNeil. Takes the touch. There's the cross. There's the chance. Hendrick puts it wide. Really good opportunity. Beautiful floating cross to the back post. Hendrick was there. I was waiting for the net to ripple, but he got his angles wrong, and it remains Burnley 0, Arsenal 0, just short of the hour.
Oh, it's fantastic football again. Brilliant from Burnley. One fullback drills it out to the other. Low to now to Charlie Taylor on this left-hand side. He then sets it back to McNeil. Terrific little ball to the back post. There's Hendrick, just out-muscles, I think it's Granit Xhaka, yeah. But again, he can't quite direct it at goal. It's a good firm header, but it's got a yard past the post, but they look the most likely at this moment in time, and that's the best chance of the game for Burnley. Again, though, Xhaka, weak leak in that left-back area, not a full-back, out-muscled.
Burnley have won it back again, though, and they continue to do so.
I think Arsenal need to make a change here. Need to freshen this up. Wouldn't surprise you if maybe Lacazette came off, or Aubameyang through the middle, or Nketiah, I don't know. Get some fresh ideas, fresh legs on the pitch.
Cork's nod to the left-hand side is a bit much for McNeil. At TalkSport Live, if you want to give us your thoughts. I really think Lacazette has to score more as a centre-forward, says at Asmataz. This whole working for the team or something like that doesn't cut it for me. As Burnley come forward with Cork, that one's behind Wood, and it's picked up by Xhaka, who passes it out to Ozil. The presence of Aubameyang and his goals for Arsenal fans don't complain, but they really should. Here is Aubameyang. Aubameyang into Ozil, down by the byline, comes off of Me. Me says that it bounced back onto Ozil, and it should be a goal kick. Corner has been given though.
That's a good run from Aubameyang on the left hand side. Mesut Ozil makes a little darting run into the box. Pass from Aubameyang though was over here. Ozil had to go right to the byline, then Me slid in just to get the block on, and I think it came off Mesut Ozil.
It definitely did, yeah.
Should have been a goal kick to Burnley.
It should. Arsenal have gained 2 of those now. There was one where they should have given away a corner in the first half, and it went as a goal kick to them. Now they've got a corner that they scarcely deserve themselves, but can they take advantage of it? Remember, nobody in the league has scored more from corners than Arsenal this season. I tell you what, they won't score with a short, awful one to Xhaka like that. Terrible ball in, very easy away for Burnley, and they've got themselves a throw midpoint of the Burnley half of Arsenal. Less than half an hour left for play. 0-0 here on Premier League Live. Xhaka takes the throw down to Guendouzi. Back to Xhaka, uses the young Frenchman once more. Now Luiz uses the goalkeeper, and Pope Leno, I should say, passes out to Guendouzi, gets the ball away at the second time of asking. Header by Me. Torreira wins it in midfield, gives it to Bellerin. That's a nice run, and then the pass was on, but he's then been tackled by Taylor, and he's gone in on Taylor, and he's fouled the left back. And I thought for just a moment that Bellerin was going to be able to release Martinelli down the right hand side when the ball came back at him, but Arsenal are readying themselves the change that we were just wondering whether they might need to make. And the man coming off, I think, is Mesut Ozil. It is, yeah. Well, that's the end of his 250th game. What are you giving him? 5?
Yeah, what I said at the start, yeah.
You predicted it.
That's kind of how he's played, and I think he's in the last 3 seasons at the football club. I think Mikel Arteta's given him a chance there, but it's Willett that comes on. Saw him play number 10 role against Bournemouth. I thought he was brilliant. I imagine he'll slot straight in there, in behind Lacazette. Another piece in the jigsaw puzzle. We've just got to get right this front four.
15th Premier League appearance of the season for him. As Burnley go forward, the ball bounces kindly for Tarkowski as it looked like it might run outside. He tries the cross, comes off of Guendouzi, it stays in, and Xhaka can hook it clear towards halfway. Here's Me just safety first under a bit of pressure from Lacazette. Comes back to Pope, and he smacks the ball away, and Wood is easily there first. Wood gives it to Rodriguez, edge of the box. He's scuffed his shot. It opened up nicely for him, but he couldn't find the finish, and it remains 0-0. And for all of Burnley's pressure, you have to say Leno's not really been tested. It's been good chances that have been put wide, and this might just be Burnley's problem. They've got to find a way of getting them on target.
Yeah, they need that finishing touch, don't they, up front? But Group 1 football from Burnley, long ball up top to Wood, lovely little pass across the box. I've got to say the first touch on Rodriguez was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
But then the second with the finish was ugly, bobbly, not a clean connection.
Referee stopped play briefly because Lacazette went down holding his head. Can't take any risks with head injuries, and Tarkowski's moaning about it, but if the boot was on the other foot or the knock was on the other head, he'd be saying, well, hang on, I've got a head injury. You can't take risks.
I've been on receiving ends of that, an elbow from Ben Mee. Obviously you're the smaller player, the centre forward invariably. Ben Mee's come across, he's over and above Lacazette, just leads with his arm, just catches Lacazette in the head, and that'll be painful. I've had that a few times.
Booking that, do you think really should be?
I don't know.
Does it endanger a player?
It's a tough one, because when you are forward you get that the whole game.
I mean, I wonder I guess what I'm asking is really, how aware should you be that a player just by biology is shorter than you if you're going for a challenge like that, and that actually if you lead with your elbow it's going to invariably be in his face?
Well, you'd like the referee to obviously be aware of that, and that's where
is that about protection?
Yeah, that's where you do need a bit of protection.
Free kick to Arsenal on the edge of their own 18-yard box. They all have faces on them, the Arsenal players, don't they? They don't quite look like things are going their way.
Well, look, let's be frank. I mean, the fixture they've got coming up, they've got Newcastle, then they've got Olympiacos, then Everton.
Yeah.
I mean, Burnley, Newcastle, Everton, they'll be thinking, it's a chance to get some points in the final
9 points potentially, absolutely.
Yeah, the point here is, it's not the end of the world, but it's not going to see them whether if they want to, start progressing to catch the top 4, top 5.
Arsenal have won the last 10 in a row against Burnley. I'll tell you what, though, it's worth pointing out that in the last 10 meetings, they've scored stoppage time goals in 7 of them. They've given the ball away there, including 3 winners in stoppage time. So they're often tight, these matches, and Arsenal often leave it late, but they've got a culture specifically against Burnley of scoring late goals, and a lot of the time they are late winners. So you never know. Here's Willock. Manages to get away from the tackle of Cork. Uses Guendouzi in the centre circle. Stabbed to the left-hand side with his right foot to Xhaka. Xhaka to Guendouzi. Guendouzi's ball up to Willock. Just slipped a little as it came to him. Lacazette keeps it alive. Here's Torreira opening up for him. He's hit it well, but it was really straight down the throat of Nick Pope.
It's got to be something special, I think, to beat Nick Pope from that sort of distance. 25 yards out. I think Torreira could have worked his way into the box. Wasn't really on.
Bounces kindly for Burnley off of a Arsenal head. Rodriguez, though, can't get past the flowing locks of both Guendouzi and Luiz. And here's Willett with a bit of space to run into. Fancies a pop shot. Puts it wide.
Yeah, another poor decision. You've seen the 2 subs. Torreira elected to take a shot and could have worked his way into the box. That time, Willock on the run, just getting closer to the goal, but then he's got to slip it left. All right, he had Aubameyang on the left. I think he should have used him, and he didn't. It's well wide in the end.
Pope out to Tarkowski short. Burnley playing it out from the back now. There you go.
Well, that's because Arsenal.
Never thought you'd hear that said.
Well, what they do though, they play it short so that they can go long, if that makes sense. So Arsenal dropped off. They were so deep, so it was on to give it to a centre half. Often you do that. You get one centre half, then he quickly runs back towards goal, gets it, and then he hits it in the channel. That's what Burnley do.
Ball forward from the throw for Burnley. Comes back, bounces kindly for them to launch one forward, but here's Leno outside of his 18-yard box, gives it to Shkodran Mustafi. It's a nice ball up the pitch to Martinelli. He's found Willock, and suddenly it looks like it's 3-on-3, although Willock just dilly-dallied. Hendrick got a toe in. Could have been quicker that for Arsenal, and they might have been in. Here's Torreira. Now Aubameyang on the left-hand side, wearing the captain's armband. Gives it to Guendouzi. Plenty of bodies in and around the box for Arsenal, but they're not prepared to put it in there. Guendouzi. Aubameyang into Martinelli. Easy clearance for Burnley. Rodriguez takes it down and halfway. Gives it to Wood. Now here's Hendrick. Hendrick steps inside Guendouzi. Coming back at him, Martinelli. Arsenal have it back. Here's Guendouzi on halfway. Moving from left to right and then squaring it out to Bellerin. Midpoint of the Burnley half, hugging the right-hand touchline. Infield to Torreira. Torreira back to Mustafi, and now David Luiz happy to come forward out of defence. That's a good ball to the left-hand side of Martinelli. He can run at pace at Loughton. Now gets a bit of a ricochet off of Loughton's tackle, and Martinelli can only concede the goal kick. Pope with a chance to clear, but I think, David, you wanted to make a point about Arsenal's build-up play there.
Well, again, in the final third, it just breaks down for Arsenal. I just wonder, have they moved maybe Aubameyang in alongside Lacazette? Would they be better off going to a 4-4-2? I mean, they've got wide men who aren't really wide men. They want to be inside, going towards goal. I don't know, Martinelli, looks like now Martinelli might be out on the left-hand side. And Aubameyang on the right.
Yeah, Lacazette will chase this ball. Me just left it for Pope. He's a long way outside his area. Had to get that clearance right, and he does so. And I'll tell you what, Wood's on the chase, and Mustafi just forced into heading that into touch. Safety first, why not?
Well, brilliant ball into the channel for Nick Pope, rushing out of his box, and what a lovely clearance with his left foot right the way down the other end of the pitch.
Taylor's just turned that the wrong side of McNeil, and Aubameyang's there. He gets it back from Willock. Now can Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang stretch his legs? He's up and over the halfway line. Lacazette points to where he wants the pass, and he wanted it specifically to Willock in behind him. Willock now moves it out to the left for Granit Xhaka. Xhaka, chance to cross towards Lacazette. It's meat and drink for him all day. He'll always beat Lacazette to those balls. Heads it behind though, corner to Arsenal.
Yeah, nice little play there from Aubameyang. Little give and go with Willock in his own half. They work their way out the pitch, feed it out wide to Xhaka. Early cross from deep, but as you say, food and drink for Ben Mee and Tarkowski. But you could say the header maybe could have gone out for a throw, sending it straight out for a corner.
At Talk Sport Live, if you want to get in touch with us. T.E. Ackerson, listening from the Woodlot while working near Portland, Michigan. Here's the corner. Away by Burnley once again, going to come out to Willock. It's cold, that one, but we've just had. Here's Willock's delivery. Header away, comes out to Luiz, was that? And it took a deflection and goes behind for another corner to Arsenal. James Benitez has been in touch, said, I'm not following Burnley Arsenal today. I think I'd rather organise my sock draw alphabetically. Aren't they all S's? It's just sock, isn't it? That's maybe you've got some different technique. Punched away from the corner by Pope. Guendouzi picks up edge of the area. There's an Arsenal player down, deep down in the box, away by Dwight McNeil, and I think, the referee has come to spot this. It's always dangerous with players down deep in the box, and there's a chance for the physio to come rushing on, slap bang in the centre of the box. And is it Luiz that's down, or Guendouzi? You can effectively not tell the difference between those two, can you? I think it's Luiz.
Yeah, it's Pope with a punch, just clears it to the edge of the box, but he clatters into, I think it's David Luiz, because Guendouzi's standing up. You can tell by the wristbands as well of David Luiz. He likes a wristband, an 80s wristband, sweatband.
You can see on Mikel Arteta's watch, counting up 27, 28, 29 minutes of this second half. There are still 18 minutes or so left for play. The question is, who would come on for David Luiz should he fail some sort of concussion check? Oh, dearie me. Nick Pope took out everybody in punching the ball away, and then backpedalled as he came down to get back in position without realising that Luiz was down on the ground, tripped over him and fell full weight on his head. That is a painful one. And fortunately, Luiz is being judged to be okay to continue, I think. I never like that. I know they do these thorough concussion checks, but make no mistake, concussion can take a little bit of time for the symptoms to make themselves clear, and something like that, I just think you take them off.
I'm not so sure. I think as a player you'd want to stay on if you can, as long as you're healthy, but he does have
But we don't know if he's healthy, that's exactly the point.
Well, I mean, you can do your best, can't you, in terms of your checks, which is what they do. And
he just had a massive goalkeeper fall on his head and crush his head into the ground.
He does have big locks of curly hair.
Right, I'm not having that.
Which could buff.
Don't you tell me that's a cushion. I'm not having it. That is, look at him. He looks dazed. I'm sorry, he shouldn't be on the field. I don't care what he thinks. I care about his health, his long-term health. Anyway, Arsenal continuing on the attack. Here's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang down the right-hand side. Back to Bellerin, edge of the Burnley box. Aubameyang again. Bellerin makes the run towards the byline. That's a nice little turn away from Taylor. Continues his run into the area. And then he got stars in his eyes and puts it high and wide.
Well, it's almost a similar situation to the Chelsea goal that he scored, drifting from this right-hand side. Lovely little give and go with Aubameyang. Checks back inside. Taylor, then again, goes in on his left leg. He's trying to curl it into that far corner, but it's not the same sort of finish against Chelsea. And he did have three players in the box. Willock, Lacazette, and one other he could have played to. He's gone for glory and hit it high and handsome over the bar.
Yeah, I think it was Martinelli, the final body in the box. Beginning to rely on this 18-year-old to try and get them goals. Long clearance away by the goalkeeper Pope. That drops to Guendouzi though. Guendouzi gives it to Martinelli. Lacazette going left. Willock and Aubameyang to his right. He chooses the former option. There's the cross by Lacazette. There's the header by Aubameyang, and it is just wide of Nick Pope's right-hand post.
Oh, it's unlucky. It's a really good move. Martinelli knows he's got Lacazette on the outside, on the left side. He comes back inside, checks back in. Lacazette picks out Aubameyang with a brilliant in-swinging ball. He just gets in front of Charlie Taylor, but that header again, just directional, half a yard past the post. Both of these teams, I think, need to work on their finishing, certainly from headers. How many headers have we seen today? Haven't hit the target, too many.
Yeah, from both sides. Absolutely.
What's that, 3 chances for Aubameyang? Could have had a hat-trick today.
Yeah.
He had his shooting boots. And
I think the middle one of those chances was always difficult with Pope closing down, but I think, as you said, perhaps if he'd gone first time, he wouldn't have been trying to lob a keeper through who was standing only 2 yards in front of him. I think James Benitez's tweet suggests to us that he's not really enjoying this game so much. In fact, he's even suggested he's not listening, but I hope he is. But actually, I think this is quite a good game. I've done some seriously bad 0-0s this season.
Well, it's in the balance, isn't it? That's the good thing. It can go either way. You couldn't call it.
Dwight McNeil, ball forward again, looking for me or Tarkowski, one or the other. Guendouzi's just going to shepherd it out, and Tarkowski's done something that, as fans, you find furious.
He's tackled him, isn't he?
Why would you make that foul? I mean, look, it's not much different to a goal kick, but there's no reason for it, is there? Free kick from slap bang on the byline, really, for Arsenal. Of course, by the time they've moved it forward a few yards, it won't be. It's exactly what's happened. But it's nigh on a goal kick, and you just wasted a bit of time. Arsenal have had 78% of the ball in the last 10 minutes and done a square root of nothing with it. Ball looped forward by McNeil. That's I think maybe fortuitously, a nice touch by Wood. Came back to Rodriguez. He's worked it to McNeil. Taylor's gone outside of him. Space to get the cross in. Taylor hangs it up back post. Xhaka can only nod it behind him to Hendrick. His cross deflects back to him. The Irishman uses Westwood. Westwood's cross. There's McNeil. Across it goes. Rodriguez against the bottom of the bar. And I think it's stayed out. Bounced down. Corner, says the referee.
Goodness me.
How's it not gone in?
Oh, this is the worst miss of the lot. It's Dwight McNeil with the header back across goal. I actually think he's going for goal. Instead, it lands with Rodriguez on the volley at the back post. He's got a simple side foot finish from about 4 yards out. He conspires to hit the bar.
Slap bang on the line.
Yeah, right on the line. It's not over the line, that's for sure. Right on the line, then bounces up and they head it out of play, Arsenal. Goodness me. Should have scored.
Corner, here it comes. Deep it goes. Back post Hendrick. Might drop to McNeil. Wood just left it. And it didn't have the weight to reach McNeil. Headed towards the near side by Taylor. Hooked over his own shoulder by Westwood. Finds McNeil now. McNeil's got Willock with him. Looked like he was pulled down there. No foul. Willock comes away with it. Apologies, it's Lacazette. Now Guendouzi. How are Arsenal not behind? It's almost like Burnley will never take the lead against Arsenal, given they missed that chance. That's one of the misses of the season. As Guendouzi passes it awfully out of play. behind Xhaka.
He would have put these in the back of the net in his sleep 100 times over. Jay Rodriguez, as I said, 4 yards out, simple side foot volley, crashes it off the bar, down on the line,
and it was spinning away, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was literally the spin of a ball away from being a goal.
I mean, say half the ball was over the line.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like XG very much, but that would have had an XG of about 0.8, I think, 0.8.5. It was so close to being a certain goal. Here's Torreira. Are you an XG fan? Do you understand it? Do you like it?
Yeah, I do understand it, and I think there is. You can take your data out of it.
Yeah.
Appropriate data. You've got to be careful what data you use.
I agree, yeah.
It can be paralysis by analysis, but
I think the other thing that, people use it for full matches, and I think sometimes it doesn't take into account the situation of the game. If a team's 4-0 up and they take their foot off the gas, then you're more likely to concede chances. As the cross comes into the box, it's well dealt with by Mustafi. That's not well dealt with, though, by Bellerin. Giving it to Dwight McNeil. Taylor had made a great run. He's not going to get it. Here's Rodriguez giving it to Dwight McNeil. McNeil with 3 yellow shirts around him. Comes back to Westwood. Now Taylor will get the chance to cross. Hits Bellerin. Bounces kindly off of him into the sky, and he can hook it away. Westwood brings it down. Here's the ball in behind, though, by McNeil. Westwood's gone on. You could see McNeil was annoyed with himself because he thought that ball, it was a simple pass for him, and he overhit it. And it's behind and into the final 10 minutes at 0-0.
It's a poor pass from McNeil. He actually had, just prior to that, Charlie Taylor on the overlap. He should have used him. He didn't. He checked out, tried to be a little bit too clever. Charlie Taylor's screaming at him, just give me the ball. He bombs up and down for fun, Charlie Taylor. He's been really impressive. I think both fullbacks today have been exceptional for Burnley. This has been a really good second half performance from them.
Tarkowski with a foul there on Willett. That's got to be a booking. Yeah, James Tarkowski will go into the referee's notebook. First yellow card for Burnley today. 9 minutes left for play. 0-0. At TalkSport Live, if you want to give us a thought, is there going to be a goal? Feels like there could be one, doesn't it? Still sat here going, well, there's a great chance of a goal in this game.
I mean, I don't know the point. Who's it more useful for? I think Burnley obviously still looking over their shoulders, but so are Arsenal. And if really they want to be progressive, they should be winning these sorts of games, especially with that front four, much lauded and expensively assembled. But
they haven't been winning these games, have they? No. Drew with Sheffield United, drew at Palace, drew at Bournemouth. These are the results under Arteta so far. Cannot believe that Rodriguez chance didn't go in.
Well, actually drawing them, but they could have lost this one.
Yeah, they certainly could.
They might still do.
But they might win it. Mikel Arteta won both of his games as an Arsenal player against Burnley. Can he muster up a late win for his team here? Here's Guendouzi. Square ball to Xhaka, just a little bit behind the Swiss. Guendouzi now, he's got his arms out as if to go, where are my options?
Well, he just wanted Aubameyang to come off short and show.
4 players in advance of him, but they're not creating the angles, the options for the pass. Lacazette spins it straight at Lowton. Easy clearance left-footed for him. And then Mustafi leaps over Wood. I think Mustafi's played Wood very well today. He's not had a sniff, really, Wood. And he's shorter than the Kiwi, isn't he, Mustafi?
Yeah.
He's done okay. Here's Torreira coming forward. Here's Bellerin. Now on the right-hand side. Chance for Aubameyang to get the cross in. There it goes into Torreira. Touches it to Lacazette. Spins. It's opened up. Good block by Tarkowski. Think he possibly could have shot. First time there, Lacazette waited, and it allowed the England defender to get a leg on it and make the block.
Oh, terrific little touch though from Torreira on the volley, just to pick out Lacazette from Aubameyang's cross, but too slow to shoot. Lacazette should have got it off much earlier.
Header away by Arsenal, comes straight back at them off of me. Rodriguez plays it, brings it down, tries to play in Wood. He's got behind Xhaka, but being forced wide. Taking his time to bring it under control. Tries the first time left foot cross. It bounces back out to Lowton. Hendrick, here's the cross in towards McNeil. Just couldn't quite adjust his body to get it right and puts it over the crossbar. Leaning back, awkward technique. Never quite felt like it was a really good chance for Burnley there.
Well, both these teams need to go to finishing score, that's for sure. This time Hendrick keeps it alive, just helps the ball back into the box from the byline. Misses Bellerin on the volley. McNeil just side puts it again over the bar. Gone from one end to the other. So many opportunities in this game.
That's well won again by Tarkowski. Been impressive again as Tarkowski today. Has he got half a chance of a Euro place in the summer, do you think? Or is he maybe not quite a fashionable enough club, perhaps?
I don't know, possibly not. Possibly not.
Deitch and Arteta watch on. The applause you just heard down one of our effects mics down the side of the pitch was Sean Deitch, who's looking the more animated of the two as Hendrick goes into the back of Xhaka. Once again, as you pointed out in the before the first half even began, actually, he doesn't make subs, does he?
No, he doesn't. No, just looking back on his previous games, you know, those starting players invariably stay on the pitch the whole time.
Yeah, 3 games in a row with no subs potentially here in the league at least. Here's Lowton. Lowton plays the ball into the channel with nobody but David Luiz anywhere near it, though. Easy for Arsenal to get away. Xhaka moves it across to the edge of his own 18-yard box, and Mustafi. Torreira. Mustafi makes up a bit of ground to make an option. 5 minutes for one of these two teams to find the goal that wins the game. Luiz. Xhaka finally reaches the halfway line. Works it up to Willock. Tackle comes in. Throw into Arsenal. Remember that after this game we do have Tottenham against Manchester City to come, and we'll give you the team news of that in just a moment's time. But Arsenal building through Lacazette. Now Bellerin down the right of the 18-yard box. That's a good cross just beyond Aubameyang, and it's turned behind by Lowton. Safety first, corner to Arsenal.
Wait, what's a good ball in the box? There's only really Aubameyang gambling on that, though. Too many players caught on their heels. Willock in and around the edge of the box. Lacazette on the edge of the box. No one at the back post. Getting across Lowton. He had to clear it. Didn't really know what was around him. Just swept it out for a corner.
Arsenal fans praying. Can they get their first win outside of London since the opening day of the season at Newcastle?
Well, they're right in front of those fans, away fans.
Here's the delivery. Into the box it goes. Mustafi was there, and he's obviously spotted a push as the referee. So let's quickly get the Tottenham against Manchester City team news. Your commentator's Alex Crook.
The big news is that Tottenham handed immediate debut to January recruit Steven Bergwijn in place of fellow new arrival Jedson. Alexander Zinchenko comes into a Manchester City lineup packed with attacking talent. Mahrez, De Bruyne, Sterling and Aguero all start for the visitors.
Yeah, some side Manchester City have when they're in full flow, of course, and Leroy Sané is on his way back as well. We're going to see Eddie Nketiah for Arsenal, a striker who did score his one and only Premier League goal so far against Burnley back in May. So potentially, you never know. It was in stoppage time when it was on this ground. Burnley headed away through me. Round the corner by McNeil. Only falls to Guendouzi in the centre circle. Squared to Torreira. Here's Mustafi. Now Torreira again. Inside right. Now outside of him is Bellerin. Torreira. The next game, by the way, that game between Tottenham and Manchester City, kicks off at 4:30 UK time. So do work out what that is wherever you are, but it's relatively soon after this. Don't turn off and you'll be taken straight on as Arsenal look for Bellerin in behind. Gets it wrong. And Pope picks up. Here's McNeil. Now Taylor. Rodriguez tackled by Bellerin. Throw into Burnley, but not until Arsenal have made this sub. Alexandre Lacazette, I might argue he's done well to stay on as long as he has. Eddie Nketiah will be given the chance to win the game for the last few minutes here today. 5 goals in 19 games for Leeds down in the Championship this season.
Well, I saw Lacazette come off against Sheffield United when they were leading Arsenal, and for Nketiah, I didn't think it was the right change, but I think this one is today. However, Nketiah's got to get hold of the ball. Those Burnley centre-halves, they're big, they're strong. Not too sure this is suited for an Nketiah, but they've got to find him with the ball at the feet or in the channel here, the Gunners.
Mustafi has it at the back for Arsenal. Up to Aubameyang, easily won by Taylor. As you say, he's been excellent today. There's Mustafi, can't quite head it into the path of Willock. Easy for Tarkowski. Now the ball by Cork into the channel for Rodriguez. He's got behind Bellerin. Coming across to meet him is Louise. Now here's Dwight McNeil. McNeil's cross towards Wood. Well dealt with by Mustafi again. Good positioning. And then Arsenal fighting for it in the left-back position. It comes off of Martinelli last, and it's a throw-in to Burnley, which Hendrick wants to get on with. Martinelli was just standing there in between man and ball. Lowton to take. And the fact that he's taking his time over this suggests they are happy with a draw. Drops it into Wood. Back by Westwood. We're into the final 5 seconds of normal time. Remember, Arsenal are specialists at stoppage time goals against Burnley. 7 in their last 10 games against the Clarets. We're in that period now, but they're at the wrong end. Here's Hendrick's delivery. Now can Arsenal break? Torreira picks up edge of the box. Guendouzi waited for Rodriguez to come and hit him in the back. Not sure he realised he was there. Free kick, which he took with a rolling ball. Back they come. Rodriguez just won't get out of the way, will he?
Just depriving Arsenal, taking that free kick early. But he's also got, no, look, just put your hand on it, make sure the ball is still before you go and play. He could have actually released that pass much earlier as well.
He could, yeah. Arsene Wenger syndrome, isn't it? Overplaying sometimes. Crossfield ball will find Bellerin. Bounces once and then he brings it under his control. There's Aubameyang. Aubameyang taking his time, moving down the right hand side up towards the byline. Back heel, back to Bellerin. Bellerin's cross in. As you say, it's the wrong sort of ball for Nketiah. Easy for me. Woods takes the ball and gets it up towards Rodriguez. Louise up into the sky rather than away. Little nudge in the back by Rodriguez, but nothing wrong with it. Here's McNeil. Burnley fans urging their team forward. We're a minute and a half into 3 of stoppage time. Charlie Taylor going all the way down the left hand side, easily away from Bellerin. Torreira will just shepherd it behind. Goal kick, which Arsenal presumably will rush to take.
Oh, it's unlucky from Charlie Taylor. I think he's been terrific today. If there was a man of the match, he'd be running them close, that's for sure. Him and maybe Tarkowski and me. Then excellent that back for Lowton as well.
Away it goes short to Bellerin. Now on the right is Aubameyang. Comes off of Taylor. On it back for Burnley. Inside the Arsenal half. McNeil tries to slip in Westwood. Taken off of him by Torreira. Over the halfway line they come. Here's Nketiah. Nketiah back to Bellerin. Minute of stoppage time left. It'll be heartbreak for Burnley, but Arsenal have done it to them before. Willock. No movement around him. None whatsoever. Maybe Aubameyang can offer some. Here he is. Aubameyang. There's a ball out to the left available to Xhaka. Is this the moment for Arsenal? Granit Xhaka. Cross comes in straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. And I think that's probably that.
Yeah, a bit slow, a bit laboured in their build-up there. Eventually it comes to Nketiah. He could have actually released Aubameyang, checked back out, played safe. By the time they get anywhere near the box, Arsenal, all momentum's gone. It's Martinelli with a poor ball in, and it's been the story of the game really for Arsenal. Flat to deceive in that final third.
Away it goes, comes off of Mustafi. Is there time? Taylor wants to take the throw quickly. They need to get it going. There's only about 5 seconds left, and I think it's all too little too late. Arsenal draw for the 5th consecutive time in the Premier League. That matches their own club record, by the way. But it's not a result that their fans will see as acceptable. Both sides missed chances. Burnley came the closest to scoring through Rodriguez, but it's finished. Burnley 0, Arsenal 0 on Premier League Live. Arsenal go long up over to Aubameyang. Oh my goodness me. He was one-on-one with the keeper and somehow got his bearings completely wrong, stabbed it straight behind, and that's an absolute sitter for someone like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Here's McNeil's ball into the box, got an awful long way to Hendrick. What a chance that was! And from about 16 yards out on his right foot, it was a little bit awkward, but he's put it over the crossbar. Drilled ball across the field to Charlie Taylor. Lovely. Can he get the cross in? Touches it back to McNeil. Takes a touch. There's the cross. There's the chance. Hendrick puts it wide. Really good opportunity. Beautiful floating cross to the back post. Hendrick was there. I was waiting for the net to ripple.
It's a good firm header, but it's got a yard past the post, but they look the most likely at this moment in time, and that's the best chance of the game for Burnley.
Willock and Aubameyang to his right. He chooses the former option. There's the cross by Lacazette. There's the header by Aubameyang, and it is just wide of Nick Pope's right hand post. Westwood's cross. There's McNeil. Across it goes. Rodriguez against the bottom of the bar, and I think it stayed out. Bounced down. Corner, says the referee. How's it not gone in?
Oh, this is the worst miss of the lot. He's got a simple side foot finish from about 4 yards out.
David, who's more disappointed right now?
That's a difficult one. I think that, look, certainly based on their second half performance, Burnley feel they might have been able to nick 3 points there. Look, Arsenal were probably there for the taking, certainly how they performed. Second half really slow to come out the blocks. I mean, there was no tempo in their play. They moved the ball really slowly, and look, they had a lot of opportunities, Arsenal, but to be honest, it looked like both sides would be there till Christmas and they wouldn't score. So really poor finishing. Both need to go finishing school.
Arsenal up to 10th, Burnley up to 11th. I mean, Burnley, by the way, only in the season they ended up in Europe have they had a better start. I mean, it's not really a start anymore, is it? But after 24 games to a Premier League season. So they are, you know, by their own standards, they're flying. They're now, 7 points clear of the drop zone. They're actually only 5 points off of 5th. I mean, as are Arsenal. So the gap's sort of narrowing for them. But goodness me, I mean, you know, as you say, I don't see either side really making much progress from here, do you?
Well, no, what you could say is that, look, Burnley had 2 terrific wins against Leicester and Man United. A point, I think, here, if you would have said, look, you got 7 points out of those 3 games, I think Sean Dyche probably said, yeah, I'll take that. Yeah. And certainly based on the chances Arsenal had in that first half, Aubameyang should have put and won it up. He had another opportunity. Maybe they came in at half time probably thinking we've done well still to be 0-0, but second half I thought they turned the screw. They were much better, more progressive, went forward, had the opportunities, and look, they'll probably look back at Jay Rodriguez's chance and think, you know, that should have been the winner.
It's got to have been the winner, yeah. What do you make of, you know, you've now watched consecutive Arsenal games under Mikel Arteta, admittedly with sort of different kinds of teams. What's the progress that you see that he's making with them? You know, what changes can you spot from what Emery had done?
I mean, I think this was, in all honesty, a bit of a poor performance. I saw them at the Vitality and I thought they were really good against Bournemouth, but here, you know, they played in fits and starts. There wasn't any real continuity to the play. They didn't really put, say, and I haven't seen them put 2 good 45s together. I saw them at home against Sheffield. They were okay in the first 45 and they were pretty average in the second. That's kind of as they were here. It'd be good to see them. I remember Frank Lampard saying that about Chelsea when he first took over, you know, that they were good for, say, 45 but not really for 90, and I just get that feeling from Arsenal. The front four just didn't function. I think he's got a problem with that front four. Lacazette plays through the middle, Aubameyang's wide. Aubameyang doesn't like playing that wide and he's better through the middle. Plays him through the middle. Where does Lacazette play? He doesn't. You know, Martinelli was disappointing today. Maybe he's played an awful lot of football. He's still young. Ozil, flattered to deceive again. He was 5-6 out of 10. You know, Willock came on, wasn't really in the game. So the front four, I think, were pretty poor for the Gunners.
I mean, Arsenal have now drawn 4 in a row since they beat Manchester United, if you forget the cup games against Bournemouth and Leeds. It's one of those statistics, isn't it, that you go, oh, they're unbeaten in 5, but you also go, well, they haven't won in 4, and it's one of those where almost the next result that's not a draw is almost the one that's the most important, because then you suddenly go, well, either they haven't won in 5 or 6, or actually they're unbeaten in 7 games.
Yeah.
And you know, I know it's silly to say that, but it is important whichever way that result goes.
Well, look, I mean, Burnley have won 3 more games than them.
Yeah.
Burnley, and that's just not good enough for this Arsenal team. certainly the players they've got, to be drawing so many, look, it might make them hard to beat, but really they should be turning these points. The Sheffield United one, they should have had 3 points if they'd have seen the game out. Here they had the opportunities. Did they play with a real desire in tempo in that second half? No, I don't think they did. And if they had have done, they might have won the game, but as it was, they're probably lucky to come away with a point.
Yeah, big problems, I think, for Arteta to sort out. Many thanks to you, David Connolly, for being alongside me, Toby Gillis, for what I thought, frankly, was quite an entertaining 0-0 draw between Burnley and Arsenal. Burnley very, very close to winning that game. Jay Rodriguez quite literally half a ball's width away from making it 1-0 in the late stages there. But Arsenal, with their 4th draw in a row, now they can sit back and watch their nearest rivals, Tottenham. They play Manchester City. It's coming up next here on Premier League Live.
TalkSport. Download the TalkSport app now for online fun, fixture talk and lashings of live football. Football. Then stick it in your ear. Ouch. TalkSport. This is what real sport sounds like.